problem on the team?
I don't think there's any question. Let me give you a little perspective. They've played 10 games, and what they've come up with, this coaching staff, is that they have an inconsistent quarterback. So here's what has to happen. In today's game, he's got to be consistent. He has to play well, not only for today's game, but for also the whole season. If they lose now, this could be the end of their season, and they become spoilers. They think they're a playoff team. Scott Mitchell is the key.
Hardly spoilers of the Minnesota Vikings riding high at 8-2 on the year. Robert Smith will be back starting at running back, and everywhere you go talking to these Vikings, they sense that they're developing something special now.
Yeah, and I believe that too. I think they're a better football team than they were a year ago or the year before. In fact, Denny Green told us he feels something special about that group. What I think is special, Brad Johnson, the quarterback. He is what the Detroit Lions don't have. A young quarterback who's consistent, who makes good decisions, who understands to let everybody else in their offense make the big plays. He doesn't try to win it by himself.
And also with us is Ray Bentley. He's on the field with Vikings head coach Dennis Green. Ray?
Thank you, Dick. Denny, this is a big divisional rival. Detroit can be a dangerous football team. What are your concerns going into this?
I think the big thing, we just have to stop Barry Sanders. He's such a terrific player, and he's in a really hot streak right now with 8 consecutive 100-yard games. So from there, then we have to go out and stop the passing part of the game, too. But it always starts with Barry Sanders.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck. Let's play some football. Back up to you, Dick.
All right, Ray, thank you very much. So the kickoff coming up between the Vikings and the Lions from the Silverdome.
Let's go. Good, man. Come on now. We gotta stay poised, but understand poised don't mean taking it easy. Right. We got to hustle to the plate. If we tired, somebody gonna come in and play for us. You hear? You know what I'm saying? Let's make plays on 3. 1, 2, 3. Make plays.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
We're inside at the Silverdome, and the Detroit Lions have won the toss. 2 streaks alive in this game. The Vikings 6-game winning streak and the Lions 3-game losing string. Eddie Murray, who along with Jerry Ball, who will start today, returns to face his former team in the Silverdome for the first time in a regular season game. Eddie Murray has done a terrific job for the Vikings. Will be kicking to Glenn Milburn, and it seems that the Lions return game has come alive as of late, especially Milburn.
And they needed that. I mean, ever since they lost Mel Gray, they've been trying to find somebody who can pick up that piece. Milburn's got to pick up more pieces, to be honest with you.
And we're underway. End-over-end kick, and Milburn will start from the 10-yard line on the return. And he won't get to the 25 as he is tackled shy of the 25. Scott Mitchell, who has struggled particularly the last 2 games before he was injured in the second quarter in Washington last week, is the quarterback. An offensive line that is better than expected, according to Bobby Ross, the head coach. Kevin Glover hurting but playing. Barry Sanders incomparable, and Herman Moore the big targets for the Lions. Starting from the 25, and they're going to try to throw on first down.
Got it.
And the pass to Herman Moore is complete. Herman Moore got beyond the defender, and a first down close to midfield, and a gain of 22 yards for the Minnesota Vikings. There is the defensive front with Jerry Ball making the start at nose tackle, but John Randall always the key man. Ed McDaniel, Jeff Brady, and Dixon Edwards are the linebackers. And in the secondary, Robert Griffith leads an aggressive group back there. From the 47, first down, Barry Sanders with his first carry, and Dixon Edwards holds him for no gain.
You know, so much you talk about Scott Mitchell being inconsistent, but here's their whole deal. Here's their offense. If Barry Sanders gets going, you put pressure on your defense to have to defend 2 things. That's why so much is talked about having a running game and stopping the run. If you can run the football, you have your 2 dimensions. Your offense can work off of it. If you can stop the run, you develop a one-dimensional game plan, easier to defend.
Second down and 11. Ball at a loss of a yard, and on the draw here is Sanders. Gets by 1 defender, and finally brought down by Orlando Thomas. But a gain of 7 yards, so Barry Sanders gets into Viking territory.
Now, so much has been talked about Barry Sanders and how you defend him, get people to the ball. You know, the biggest thing with Sanders is, this is one of the defenses that you can't get a lot of pressure up the field because you create vertical separation. and Sanders is quick enough to be able to be at the point and take advantage of it.
Tommy Boyd has replaced Bardell as a third wide receiver. 3rd and 4. And there might have been movement on the right side of the Lions line. So a penalty, and our first of the game. Our referee today is Phil Luckett.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 86, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Tight end David Sloan, so it'll be 3rd down and 9 coming up for Detroit. Bobby Ross in his first year at Detroit, 6th year as an NFL head coach. On 3rd down and 9, here comes the blitz from the secondary, and it's Leonard Wheeler, and the Vikings have made that particular maneuver work for them. A loss of 4 yards, and the Lions will have to kick.
I'll tell you what's impressive about this. Get a left-handed quarterback. He's looking right outside. See this? Look how he drops. He sees this coming. It's coming right to him. He's got to know that he's got to get rid of it fast. A quarterback, don't have a slot receiver. You always know your last look is to the slot guy to see if he's coming.
John Jett to kick. A good high kick. David Palmer is back. He calls for the fair catch inside the 15-yard line. A 44-yard kick by Jett, and the Vikings will get the ball for the first time when we return.
The world is filled with obstacles, boundaries, and limits. Ignore them. Introducing the completely reinvented 205 horsepower Isuzu Rodeo.
Free beer. I gotta warn you, boys, those seats are taken.
By us.
Okay, I warned you.
Excuse me, those are our beers.
Excuse us. We should have known these were yours.
You being that rugged outdoor type and all.
Shit, couldn't you see him hiking through the Rockies, climbing snow-capped peaks like some great American hero?
Who do you think you are, John Wayne?
No, that would be me.
Yeah, right. I'm Ben Cartwright.
No, he's over there.
Anything we can do for you?
We was just about to buy a cold one for the Duke.
Well, don't make a point of saying that too often, and once more will be too often.
Coors Light for the house!
Like this little fracas is about over.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Isuzu, builders of the completely reinvented 1998 Isuzu Rodeo. Isuzu, go farther. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the 3 most important words are, hey, beer, man. And by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's?
Vikings and the Lions, no scores. Minnesota goes on offense for the first time. Last 3 games between these teams have been decided by 7 points or less, and they know each other very well as longtime divisional foes. First down and 10 from the 13 for Minnesota. Brad Johnson swings it out to Robert Smith on first down, and Smith brings it across the 15-yard line. Gain of 3. Brad Johnson, who leads the NFC in passing yards and emerging as a first-rate quarterback this season. Todd Stussy anchors a solid offensive line. Strength is on the left side. Robert Smith is back, but 2 formidable wide receivers, of course, Jake Reed and Chris Carter. Second down and 7 on the 16. Leroy Horde in the backfield with 3 wide receivers. Horde, the power runner, getting the call, and he gets the first down and walked out of bounds by Ron Rice. 11-yard pickup for Horde. And a defensive front led by Robert Porcher. They have been solid. The linebackers, Reggie Brown, Stephen Boyd, and George Jamison. And the secondary with Ron Rice starting his 3rd game for the injured Van Malone at strong safety. First and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings on their 27. Here's Robert Smith off the left side. And Smith picking up a good gain of 4 yards on first down.
You know, Dick, I'm looking at this Minnesota Viking team, and I got to tell you, Dennis Green has done a very good job. And remember, just a few weeks ago, he came out with that controversial book. And there was all kinds of stuff, and blame shifted on him, and focus shifted on him. He has gotten this team together. He's gotten them to play better than they have before. And they have a feeling on this group that they're better and have a chance to do something special this year.
That controversy never really affected the team in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it was never viewed as a controversy.
2nd and 6. Johnson finds the tight end, Andrew Glover, and Glover close to the first down as he gets to the 37. The middle linebacker, Stephen Boyd, in on the play.
Now, Dick, I look at both these teams. I look through the division. Brad Johnson is a guy on the rise. If you graft him, he would be going up all the time. And what he does so well is that he makes good, quick decisions. He makes decisions, he's decisive, and he's not afraid to do it. He's not afraid to fail. And I think because he's gotten over that point, it's made him that much better. He also understands that he doesn't have to win it by himself.
Short of the first down by the length of a football, and the other dimension that Brad Johnson brings to the Vikings, his ability to win games down the stretch. He has led 3 fourth-quarter rallies in the last 3 games.
I think the thing about Brad Johnson is nobody knows. You don't know. He has a big upside because you don't know what the heck he's done or what he can do. And I think Dennis Green is to be credited for that because he was the guy who believed in it.
All the way. 3rd and less than a yard on the 36 of the Vikings. And here is Leroy Horde fighting his way, and Horde appears to have the first down. Robert Forche makes the tackle, but the Minnesota Vikings will move the sticks. Robert Smith and Horde to this point are alternating at running back, as Smith just getting back after suffering the sprained ankle against Tampa Bay several games ago.
Now look at this Detroit Lion defense. Obviously you're going to have Smith to have to take care of, but this is a group that has grudgingly given ground, and I think they've gotten better.
Question is on their offense more than defense lately. First down, Vikings. And Robert Smith, with that speed, crosses the 40-yard line, gets about 3. Luther Ellis on the stop.
Hey, and now we talked about grudgingly giving ground. I think one of the biggest keys is Luther Ellis, 94. Luther Ellis has come into his own, I believe, this year. And I think what he's done is he's learned how to play low with his pad level down. Watch him. Working on Randall McDaniel, an all-pro. See how he's low? Hips are down. Extension, come off, make the play. That is textbook stuff, and that is what he has gotten to do very well this year.
2nd down and 8.
Kerwin Waldrop is walking off. Looks like he's a little goofy.
And Tracy Scroggins will replace him in the lineup. Waldrop has played well, as have all 4 defensive linemen for the Lions. Scroggins takes his place. Matthew Hatchett, rookie, is split to the right with Chris Carter. Here is Evans, first carry of the game for Charles Evans, and the Lions were right there. That'll bring up 3rd down and long, 3rd and 8 for the Vikings.
It's good, solid defense up front. Luther Ellis is there. Mike Wells is a guy who's played extremely well. And that guy right there, Stephen Boyd. And Stephen Boyd he kind of reminds me of Corey Widmer of the New York Giants, where he's getting better and better. He's gotten to be a better reader. He sees things in attacks, and he's helped this front seven.
3rd down conversions are the best in the NFL for the Minnesota Vikings, but they need 8 yards here. Extra defensive backs. Good protection for Brad Johnson. Can't find a receiver, and his pass overthrown. He threw it away. Intended for Jake Reed.
Now, you can be a good decision maker. You can have protection, but when you're going to start to have the kind of coverage that's right here. Now, Walsh was sitting there. Carrier had him. And then he has to look to the other side, and he's going to look for Carter and Reed. And a nice job by Bryant Westbrook, and a great job down by Rice staying with Chris Carter.
Mitch Berger will kick it away for the Vikings, and Glenn Milburn back. Fine kick by Berger, and Milburn brings it back to the 20. And That was a 54-yard kick by Berger, who has been adept at kicking inside the 20 this year.
You're all set. Have a pleasant flight. Great.
Here you are, sir. A two-door spec.
Spec?
Our junior executive suite.
Supersize me.
Sure, what would you like?
I don't care. Just supersize me.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Halfway out there. To go farther. Go farther. Farther. The completely reinvented 205 horsepower Isuzu Rodeo. Too far.
Not sure what to watch? It's no secret. The best night on TV starts with the world's funniest. Hosted by James Brown, tonight at 7, 6 Central.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, it's a war in the NFC East. Terry Allen and the Redskins look to pound Big D, while Troy Aikman and the Cowboys try to avenge an early season defeat. Don't miss all the action.
Down the field they go. Get him deep, deep down the field. That's a dodger. Yo, he missed it. Brent, you got it right on the...
Now that's how you get a wide receiver open, baby.
It's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. The Redskins battle the Cowboys later today.
Brad Johnson talking things over with offensive coordinator Brian Billick on the right. Each team has had the ball once, no score. Kerwin Waldrop, who came out of the game and was replaced by Tracy Scroggins, is having his right leg worked on.
That looks like they're checking the knee.
First and 10 at the 20-yard line. The Lions. The tight end Sloan, and Scott Mitchell's pass is caught by Johnny Morton and pushed out of bounds by Corey Fuller. Gain of 7 yards. Mitchell booed in resounding fashion when he was introduced before the game. You wonder why the Lions decided to introduce their offensive team with the crowd feeling the way they do.
Well, you see this right here? See, I think that's why. I think people know that they're getting paid a lot of dough, and he's been inconsistent. And you can take a guy who's not being paid a lot, but when you pay somebody, you want him to be productive.
2nd and 3. Larry Sanders trying to cut inside, and Sanders is shy of the first down, and John Randall making the tackle.
Is there a better guy in the league at getting ready for a game? Is there a guy who understands the mental part of the playing and who's a better barrier, warrior rather, than John Randall? I don't know. I think John Randall is the epitome of how to play the game. You look at him, he's not the biggest guy. He plays like a madman. He has that face paint like he's ready for war.
And he's raised his game up a notch if that's possible. 3rd down and 1. 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, in fact, for the Lions. And the give is to Vardell. Tommy Vardell with running room. And Corey Fuller, the only man to catch up to him, does. And Vardell, hardly the speed merchant on this team, gets 41 yards and a first down in Viking territory.
And it all started up front, and a nice job at the point of attack. And they did a good job of taking care of the blocks. Watch, Pete Metzlar's right there, takes Washington, takes him outside. Watch Schlesinger. There's the key right there on Orlando Thomas. Now I want you to watch. Vardell knows he can't win the race, cuts back inside, and that cut picked him up another 11 yards.
Longest rush of the season for Vardell. Vardell on the second for the Lions. First down on the 30-yard line. Scott Mitchell has Herman Moore. First down inside the 20-yard line. And another gain of 11 yards.
This is Herman Moore, and he's going to be getting a little bit of a cushion outside by Corey Fuller, so he takes advantage of that. I'm going to say something. I thought at the beginning of the season that this Detroit Lions staff did not figure out how to use Barry Sanders. I still believe they're learning how to use him. I really believe they don't know how to use Herman Moore to the best of his ability.
Those are their 2 weapons. First and 10 at the 19. Barry Sanders cutting inside, gets good yardage inside the 15, a pickup of 7. And the Lions on Bardell's 41-yard run on 3rd and 1 are threatening.
Hey, now, so you can see what Barry Sanders does. I want you to watch Corey Schlesinger, and then I want you to watch Harding and Tharp inside. This is the key right here. Schlesinger, watch him. Bink, takes it out, and now this creates that. You can see Sanders, you can see the beauty. You can see the vision in the feet, but what you don't see is the thugs up there knocking people out of the way.
Bobby Ross's plan was to go to 2 running backs. He's got him in there now. 2nd down and 3 from the 12. And Mitchell's pass. Johnny Morton makes a tough catch.
That's a good
and
throw.
Talk about threading the needle. That's what Mitchell did there. And a 1st down and goal inside the 5 for the Lions.
Now let's backtrack a little bit. Remember I told you about the running game? Then when you have your running game going, now you get play action. When you get your play action, it gives you time outside. And you also can have your receivers work the defender. That was excellent coverage by Washington. Mitchell threw that ball the only place it could be, low and inside.
And the one way to silence the boos is to have the kind of start and game that Mitchell has established thus far.
Except for that poor read on the blitz, he's played flawless.
1st and goal on the 4. Time for Mitchell, and his pass broken up, intended for Sloan, and that was Dixon Edwards who knocked the ball away.
Waited just a little bit too long. Okay, that was mistake number 2. Because he had Sloan. Sloan was going to basketball, use the body inside, and he just didn't pull the trigger fast enough. So if he just held at that extra split, and Dixon Edwards comes back inside and actually never got a hand on it, it hits Sloan right in the chest. So he sits down. So he hit him in the top of the chest and bounced out. Should have been a completion.
And the first incompletion thrown by Scott Mitchell. 2nd and goal on the 4. Here is Barry Sanders. And no chance there as the Vikings converge, led by John Randall. A loss of 5, Matt.
This is what, you know, we've been talking about this forever. You know, you talk to John Madden, he says, you know, the guy, he'll lose a play, then he'll make a big play. And then the Detroit Lions staff, I think, has found this out. What they call it is a positive play. And they're looking for positive plays, and they define that in their running game as at least 4 yards.
Lions 4 for 30 lately in 3rd down conversions. They need 9 yards here on 3rd and goal, and the pass tipped away was intended for Morton, and defending was Orlando Thomas, and that'll bring up 4th down. So give credit to the Viking defense, which held at 1st and goal, and now the Lions will try to get on the scoreboard with a field goal.
Dick, this offensive line gave them time for that ball to be completed. The ball was thrown. I think in this league, Johnny Morton's got to make that catch. I think that's a play that you throw up there, and you got to expect a guy with that kind of ability to come down with it.
Jason Hansen with a 27-yard attempt. And the kick is perfect. So Jason Hansen has connected on 18 consecutive field goals. And here was Scott Mitchell as he tried to get the 6 to Johnny Morton. But the Lions will have to be satisfied with a 3-0 lead over the Vikings. Lead with under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter on a very impressive scoring drive sparked by Tommy Bardell's 41-yard run. Jason Hansen with the 27-yard field goal. So the Lions lead.
And you see Johnny Morton sitting down inside on the bench, and he knows that that was his play, and he knows that that ball had to be caught because it was a catchable ball.
Jason Hansen kicking off. It is a short kick, and it'll be Harold Morrow inside the 10 for the Vikings. He gets an opening. Harold Morrow, and he is caught from behind by Ron Rivers, and a great return of 42 yards by Morrow, and the Vikings get back into it in a hurry.
Sometimes you can be a wild man coming down like Darryl Porter, 38, watch him. Sees the first guy down, bing, and they take advantage of that. And they collapse to the inside, and then they take that seam and use it right against you. Porter does a great job of trying to blow up the wedge, but by shifting everything over, it created a seam to the inside, and he just came right to the middle.
A career-long return for Morrow, who hasn't had many shots. Vikings with a first down on their 49. And a play-action fake going deep for Jake Reed.
That's on Jake
going
Reed.
on, but incidental contact. No flag is thrown. Brian Westbrook, the rookie from Texas, was covering on the play.
Well, Jake Reed stopped his route there, something that Johnny Morton didn't do here. He's going to take the jam. Look how he uses it. Fights to get back outside. The ball is thrown right where it has to be, right in his hands. And Herman Moore knew it. I mean, Herman Moore saw it. Yeah, he may have wanted the ball, but he also knew that that catch had to be made.
Second down and 10. Morton and Moore have been upset for different reasons so far. Second and 10. Pass to Matthew Hatchett. Incomplete. Took a hard hit from Corey Raymond. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Dick and Matt, take a look at the first run of the game by the Packers. What does it turn into? A 52-yard run to pay dirt by Dorsey Levens. Boy, is he having a big day already. Green Bay on top, 14-3. Lindy Infante's first effort against his old team. Not starting out well. Back to Dick and Matt.
Doesn't look like it's going to be pretty there today.
Well, Dorsey Levens is underrated. People forget all about him. Man, Dorsey Levens got another 100. Yeah, and then you look at him, and he's played pretty well.
Penalty marker down.
Looks like Luther Ellis got himself fired up by watching John Randall.
Prior to the snap, ball start, offense, number 64.
And the penalty is against Randall McDaniel, the left guard, 5-yard penalty.
You know, Dick, there's something to be said for when you're playing against one of the league's best players. And I think when you line up against Randall McDaniel, you got to bring your A game. And I think Luther Ellis knows it. I mean, he's playing and he wants emotion and he wants anything he can to feed off it.
And Luther Ellis wants to hear it as well. From the crowd. 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 15. Brad Johnson pass, and it is caught way short of the first down. Andrew Glover for a gain of only 9, and the Vikings will have to punt.
That's a big series for Detroit. I mean, you give up major field position,
and you start to have the short field at your back, and you have to come up with something. And they did an outstanding job. I think Larry Peccatello has done a good job, their defensive coordinator.
This is an aroused defensive bunch, no question about it. Glenn Milburn goes back, and Mitch Berger, who got off a beauty in his first punt. Going toward the sideline, and a fair catch called for by Milburn at the 11 or 12-yard line. Berger did his job and went 36 yards. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Mazda. Come see what happens when a car company has more engineers and fewer accountants. Mazda.
Back at the Pontiac Silverdome, Dick Stockton, Matt Millen, Ray Bentley is with us. The Lions lead 3-0, and the Vikings pin them in again to the 12-yard line. And Herman Moore, who already has 2 catches, but it hasn't been easy for him in the last several games. 1st and 10, Barry Sanders performing his magic, fights his way to first down yardage for the Lions. Gets out of big trouble and gets about 12 yards.
Now, I want you to watch Herman Moore. Here's what your philosophy is. Herman Moore's up top. He's going to come inside and block, and you're going to turn one guy over to Barry Sanders. You're going to say, okay, guess what? He's going to beat somebody one-on-one. And so Herman Moore comes inside and gets the block to the safety, and then Washington gets faked out of his jock, and it's a first down.
Orlando Thomas finally rode him, but not before Barry picked up the first down. 1st and 10 at the 25 for Detroit. Mitchell's pass caught by Johnny Morton, who makes a fine catch. The whistle had blown, but it'll be a play near midfield, a 23-yard pickup with Dwayne Washington and Orlando Thomas covering.
I want you to watch Scott Mitchell. So he knows where coverage is. Well, he's going to look over to this side and then come back and throw to his left. And here's the reason why. Washington's out here on Morton all by himself with the safety inside. Just that little look kept the safety sitting there, Orlando Thomas, and he was able to come back to the other side.
Morton already with 3 receptions. First down, Lions on their 48, and here is a reverse to Johnny Morton, and Mitchell is in front blocking, and Morton close to the first down. Robert Griffith ultimately makes the play. He may be short by a half a yard.
They pay him to throw, and watching that, it's obvious that they don't pay him to block.
Especially with a hamstring problem.
Yeah, hamstring, schmamstring. This comes down to having to look back inside and vision and making his block. What guys do is slow down, and Griffiths doesn't have that shot, and maybe Morton can get up the field.
I've always said hamstring, schmamstring. I've always said that. Well, Detroit off to a big start, has more than 100 total yards more thus far than Minnesota. 2nd down and 1 for the Lions. Throwing on 2nd and 1. And here is Herman Moore, and he's got it inside the 10-yard line. Big play by Moore.
Big play by Scott Mitchell.
And he's the basketball type of receiver at a gain of 35.
This coverage was perfect. Watch Fuller stay on him. And the play, the difference in the play is the way the ball is thrown. Watch how it comes down from the top. See, it came down over the top. It didn't have any kind of a line, and he gave him a chance to go up and make the play. That was caught with one hand, the right hand. Pushes off with the left, makes the catch with the right. You create your separation. Credit Scott Mitchell for the throw and the offensive line to give him the time.
1st and goal at the 7 for the Lions. Under a half a minute remaining in the 1st quarter. And they'll go to Barry Sanders, and he won't get much. Scott Mitchell telling us yesterday, Matt, that this is what the Lions wanted to do, is throw caution to the wind and go back to the kind of freewheeling ways they have exhibited in recent years.
Yeah, and what they want to do is they want to start getting some kind of deep balls, and they haven't been able to do that, and they got that done right there.
And that's been their style. That is the end of the 1st quarter here in Pontiac. With the score, the Lions 3, the Vikings nothing.
There's one who could be a Star Wars character from another planet. When he steps onto the field, he's from galaxies unknown.
Dixon Edwards has not played in this series with a lacerated right thumb and replaced by Ron George.
Phaser fire, that's what it was.
I'm letting you run on this thing, you know.
It's not like I've ever watched the show or anything. Dick, live long and prosper. Anyway, here we go.
2nd and goal at the 9-yard line as we start the 2nd quarter. Lions lead 3-0. Scott Mitchell's pass caught by Moore and hit hard by Fuller, and he stayed inbounds, a gain of 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Scott Mitchell today has been what he hasn't been all season. That's consistent, and he's been decisive. The ball has come out. He knows where he wants to go, and it comes out quick. I mean, he's having himself a big day. He needs this. He needs this for the team. The team needs this each week.
3rd and goal at the 5. Herman Moore in motion, rolling out is Mitchell, and his short pass is intercepted by Robert Griffith. And the flag is down. Fumble in the end zone. And it is recovered by the Minnesota Vikings.
That flag is key.
And the Lions indicate the penalty will go against Minnesota, but we'll wait for Phil Luckett, the referee.
You know, just when you start handing out pass on the back, that was a bad decision by 19. He had to just throw that thing away and live for another down.
We've been tough. We're grading him almost on every play, and that's what the Lions are doing too.
Exactly. I mean, and you look, you're paying the guy a lot of dough, and you need him. He's a main part of this team.
Penalty is against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I think it's Wheeler, 37, getting a push down there.
Illegal use of the hands. Here's Phil Luckett to sort it out.
Illegal contact on the defense. Number 37.
Yeah.
Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
Nullifies the interception.
You're going to see number 37's right inside. This is Tommy Boyd, number 80. He's going to come back inside. You have your 5 yards. I want to see that one from the sideline to see where they were to where they weren't, because you can whack somebody like that. Okay, here's the line of scrimmage, the 5-yard line. You have right to there.
I think it was in the end zone.
That's more than 5. But I think the initial contact was right at 5. Good call by the officials.
So the penalty against the Vikings nullifies that interception. So the Lions still have the ball. And the Vikings call a timeout. They want to get the right people on the field for this goal line situation. We'll be right back. Out and the Lions will have a 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Minnesota's defense allowing only 1 rushing touchdown in the last 7 games. And keep in mind that Barry Sanders is watching this from the sideline as the Lions are going with their power backs, Tommy Vardell and Corey Schlesinger.
You see this back here? That's an old linebacker, Ray Bentley himself. And you see where he positioned himself? Right in the middle. Just for a middle linebacker. He's ready to take a stance right now.
You guys are all alike.
Yeah, but you know, that's he got the best seat in the house. Because he's going to sit down there and he's going to see things develop. And that's the kind of player he was. He was the kind of player that had to be in the middle of the action and make a play. And now you put a microphone in his hand, and he still wants to make a play.
Graduate of Central Michigan, lives in Grand Rapids, and glad to have him with us. 1st and goal at the 2 for the Lions, who lead 3-0. Right now, Dennis Green is talking to the officials to get a clarification on a note, and that is why we have the delay. Here is Sanders, who has scored 4 touchdowns, but sitting this one out here.
Yeah, that one I don't get. Big play, you got to have something happen. Barry Sanders on the sideline.
3 tight ends, and here is Tommy Vardell, and he is stopped short of the goal line. It'll be 2nd and goal.
So here's what happens when you have that 2-back set, specifically in I formation. Rule number 1, fullback takes you to the ball. Rule number 2, be careful of play action. But you're going to take Corey Schlesinger and you're going to watch him. And everything will go off of him. And if you can get power up front, you win. If you can't, you can read that and use it against you.
2nd and goal. And Tommy Vardell slices in for the touchdown. So Vardell, the early star for the Lions offensively, with 41 yards from scrimmage and then the touchdown to give the Lions a 9-0 lead.
Dick, I'll have to differ with you in one little point. I think it's the offensive line. I think they've given time, and I think they've opened holes. Now you take Schlesinger, you bring him that way. A nice job up front by the tight ends, both of them. Kriplevich, 81, does a nice job. And they seal that whole side and stretch it and allow Vardell to come through. I think this line's playing as well as I've watched it. I've seen it.
Vardell off to a hot start, and Jason Hansen with the extra point. The kick is good, and the Detroit Lions, surprisingly, with a 10-0 lead over the Minnesota Vikings early here in the 2nd quarter. The Minnesota Vikings, who have won 6 in a row, 10-0 early here in the 2nd quarter. 8 plays and 88 yards. Herman Moore made 2 catches to spark the drive, and Tommy Vardell with a 1-yard touchdown run. So 10-0, and the Vikings have some work to do to get back in the game. Jason Hansen with a long kickoff, and Mo Williams, 5 yards in the end zone, will down it for a touchback. In the NFC Central, and of course the Vikings coming in tied with the Packers for 1st place in the division. But in case they end up in a tie, and they split their regular season games, Green Bay already won 1. The division record would break the tie, and the Packers have the edge right now. Thus, a loss today by the Vikings, Matt, would really hurt the Vikings despite their good record thus far.
And then Green Bay and Minnesota have to play up in Minnesota, which is always a tough place to play for the Packers. And you know what? I see all those records. I say throw them out and win the game you're playing. That's what it always comes down to.
Whistle and a penalty before the snap.
You know, the old rule used to be split on the road, lose 1 at home, you're in the playoffs.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 73.
And right now for McDonald's Game Break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Hey, Dick and Matt, you'll love this. Matt, take a look at Favre, has the ball stripped. Guess who picks up the fumble recovery? Big Ray Fontenot. Favre, a linebacker, and the mentality, no, he doesn't tackle him. Back to you guys.
Well, that is a surprising turn of events, JB, and Indianapolis, as Robert Smith picks up 5 yards up the middle on 1st down. So,
well, I think right now for the Minnesota Vikings, they're saying, okay, look, hey, we're down 10 squad. We got to do something. We got to get back to doing what we do well. Let's let our offensive line start to play well. Let's run the football and establish something.
Because the Lions have established ball control thus far. 2nd down and 10, and Leroy Horde stopped Right now, the Lions are doing a superb job defending against the run.
I think inside they're playing really well. And, you know, I got to tell you something. That's the strength of that Minnesota Viking offense. The left side is their strength with Christie, McDaniel, and Stussy. And Luther Ellis and Mike Wells have matched up extremely well, along with Boyd and Brown inside. They've met the challenge.
3rd down and 9. Brad Johnson going up top for Chris Carter, and Carter can't hold on.
That's a great throw, Dick.
That was Hatchett, actually, the rookie.
That's a great throw, regardless of who dropped it.
And you're right. Carter doesn't drop those anyway. Robert Bailey and Ron Rice defending, but a beautiful toss.
Hey, I want you to watch this, and here's what I want you to watch. The coverage, first of all, look up front. A lot of time to throw. Watch how this ball comes down. Perfectly thrown. 2 defenders over the top and drops down. That's a well-thrown ball, and poorly, obviously, poor effort on the catch.
Mitch Berger on the kick. Glenn Milburn running over toward the sideline. Changes direction. Flag is down.
Could be another flag.
And Milburn is dropped at the 37-yard line.
Looked like, I don't know if they're going to call it, but Ron Rivers had himself a hit in the back also.
Ryan Stewart made the tackle. And let's see who was involved in the penalty. Normally these, of course, are marked off against the returning team.
This defense for the Detroit Lions is playing very, very well. Top of their game.
Go block in the back above the waist on the receiving team, number 42. The foul occurred during the run. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Watch Stewart, 42 right there. He hits Chris Walsh, pushes him right in the middle of the back, and there's your flag.
And we'll be right back. Which head coaches ended their college careers with the 1991 Aloha Bowl? And we'll have that answer coming up. On the injury front, Kerwin Waldrop has a sprained knee, and it's questionable as to whether he'll return to the Lions defense. But for the Vikings, Dixon Edwards, who went out with a lacerated thumb, is back in the lineup. 1st and 10 for the Lions. Here's Herman Moore trying to split the defense. Close to the 1st down, maybe shy by a yard. Brady and Fuller on the play.
You know what I can't figure out? I mean, you watch this. Heck, does one week a team looks so bad, and then the next week they look so good.
Well, Herman Moore, of course, looking very good, getting his 500.
He always usually looks pretty good,
yes,
but this offensive line, I'm telling you, this offensive line is playing very well. And his quarterback is making the right decisions and reads, and he's decisive.
2nd down and 1. Here's Barry Sanders. He finds some room off the left side. What a joy to watch is Barry Sanders as he gets 10 yards, a 1st down, close to midfield, and Orlando Thomas finally corralled him.
Yeah, they're going to come one way and then come back the other way. And Sanders, then you just leave it open to Sanders. You put him in the open field and you watch him work his magic. Sometimes you watch him, you run out of adjectives to talk about. He just does so many things so well.
Got to go to that thesaurus again.
Not only that, a book that gives you other words.
Good idea. 1st down at the 46. Again, it's Barry Sanders, and he picks up a couple. He's had 9 carries now for 31 yards. Don't forget, he has gained 100 or more yards in 8 consecutive games, and no other running back in NFL history has achieved that.
Dick, when I watch Barry Sanders and how he plays, there's only one other player that comes to mind, and that's Joe Montana, because both of those players used your discipline against you. They knew where you would be. If you were a disciplined scheme, they'd take advantage of it and use it against you.
2nd down and 9. 3 wide receivers. And they give it to Sanders, and the Vikings read it wrong, and Barry Sanders busts through the line, and he gets into Viking territory, and another 18 yards chalked up to number 20.
You know, sometimes it's not that your defense reads it wrong, it's that Sanders reads it right. Right back here, they're going to come up inside. They caught him in the stunt. And see, they caught a stunt, and Randall went to the outside, and the tackle tried to force to the inside, and it's just a nice job of Barry Sanders being patient. And there's the key right there, Fernando Smith and Jeff Hardings. See, Hardings stops him and holds the point, and then you just take advantage of it.
Ron Rivers gives Barry Sanders a breather. First down on the Viking 35. Here is Johnny Morton downfield, and they'll say it's incomplete. It was broken up by Corey Fuller.
That's a pattern that I haven't seen this year, that they need to throw more often, the fade stop. And it's a ball that you start pushing up the field, and you know you have tight coverage, and really, in that kind of pattern, your defender can't be right. You're going to watch them down here. So they're going to push them up the field, and then you purposely underthrow the ball. If you're to the top side, you're beat. And if you're in the underneath side, you just stop, throw them by, and that's it. That's a good call by the official.
Second down and 10. And Mitchell is sacked by Fernando Smith. And the first sack of the game for Smith, the second for the Vikings.
Now this one is on Scott Mitchell. Here's why. I want you to watch his head. Watch how he comes out. Look where he's looking. Stays on it the whole time. Never comes off it. He had Vardell out in the flat, but he was looking to the slant. And because they jumped the coverage, he never saw the whole field, and he bit it.
That'll bring up third down and 11 on the Minnesota 36. Scott Mitchell going up the middle. Barry Sanders trying to get around Dwayne Washington. First down, Moore, and gets inside the 5 to the 2. Flags are down.
What a great play by Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton was the difference in the play down the field with
a nice block. Nice transition game. And then this is a part of this Detroit offense that you always wonder why they don't do more.
And the penalty is a face mask call against the Vikings.
Watch Barry Sanders inside. Good job by Mitchell. Look downfield, nothing there. Take your chance with Sanders. Now, once he clears, I want you to watch right there. Did you see that? That was Johnny Morton. And this is called transition. This is the transition football.
Good handwriting.
Pretty poor, wasn't it? I got a D in penmanship when I was in 5th grade. And now there's your face mask on top of it.
He might have been frustrated because he let Sanders get by him. So it is first and goal at the 1. And the Lions threatening to open up a big lead here. Tommy Vardell, second effort.
No, I don't see a signal. Yeah, but they went right back to the same play that they scored with, and it's the stretch
touchdown. Vardell got over.
That's the latest touchdown signal I've ever seen. They scored with it earlier. They came back, same situation, went right to the stretch.
Second touchdown of the game for Tommy Vardell, who set up the first field goal for Detroit with a 41-yard run. But Barry Sanders made it all happen with a 35-yard run. And let's not forget the block, of course, by Johnny Morton.
And the presence by Scott Mitchell to be able to come off it and dump underneath.
Boy, what a contrast. This is a Jekyll Hyde Detroit Lion team from the last 2 weeks. Jason Hansen for the point after. And the kick is good. And the Lions lead 17-0. And what a difference for Scott Mitchell in the first half today. Flag is down. So let's wait. It is against the Vikings, and they'll mark it off on the kickoff. The kick will be good. And here it is again. 17-0 in favor of the Detroit Lions. Vardell goes over a second time.
Important email, sir.
Wilson, this system does connect all our offices?
39 countries, sir.
At a cost of?
Over 4 million.
And it is meant to turn us into a lean, mean global machine?
Yes, sir.
But instead it tells us that some person called Corky in Denver is giving away kittens.
Kittens, sir?
My name is Anthony. I make it to midfield and back in 9.7 seconds. My friends think I'm lucky. I just think I'm fast.
I'm the long snapper for the Minnesota Vikings. It also comes in really handy around the house.
Hey, Mike, the trash truck's here.
Oh, perfect.
Honey, what are you doing?
Oh, just putting out the cat. Here we go, Timmy. Hang on.
Fox NFL Sunday, next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
No kitties were injured in the filming of this spot.
Coming up next, the big one, the Redskins and the Cowboys, one of the great rivalries in a game with intense meaning. The Redskins winning the previous game at Jack Kent Cooke Stadium. They have dominated lately, but Dallas undefeated at home this year.
Yeah, and Norv Turner knows how to play this Cowboy team. And I think now that they've gotten Chad Hennings back inside, that makes a difference. But I think the offensive line for the Redskins is playing pretty well, just like Tommy Vardell is taking advantage of his offensive line today. And you can see through the first 10 games. And today, I think the difference is that offensive line. They've done a really good job.
Scoring drives of 71, 88, and 73 yards for the Detroit Lions. Barry Sanders got 35 of those 49 on one rush to set up that second touchdown. So the Vikings and Brad Johnson have a long hill to climb, but keep in mind we have 8:09 remaining in the second. And there is that offensive line you were referring to.
Yes, these guys, these three on that one side have played very, very well. Both their touchdowns have come that way. And then all 5 of these guys have played well in pass protection.
Jason Hansen will kick off, and back deep with Mo Williams and Harold Morrow for Minnesota. This kick is going into the end zone, and it'll be Mo Williams downing it for a touchback. Even when the Vikings did get good field position in this first half, they could not score.
Hey, now I want you to watch again these 3 guys. Corey Schlesinger, Kriplevich, and Metzelars. Heck, that sounds like you go to a deli. Give me a Kriplevich and a Metzelars, and I'll take it in for a score. And because they're in there pounding away, Schlesinger, Metzelars, Kriplevich. Holy smokes. Try saying that 3 times fast. And there they are. Hey, look at 1, 2. 2 of the 3 did a nice job and allowed Bardell in.
Probably having a pastrami sandwich as we speak. First and 10, and Robert Smith back in action after missing 2 games with a sprained ankle. Gets only 1 yard. The Vikings' first 3 possessions. And you remember they had a start of a drive on their own 49, and they have punted 3 times, and they have not gotten much, which credit, of course, to the Detroit Lions defense, particularly the defensive line.
Well, this, and also, hey, the corner play. Jake Reed and Chris Carter. I haven't sniffed Chris Carter yet.
Coverage has been great. 2nd and 9. Swing it out to Robert Smith. And Boyd trailing, and they're still going to need about 5 yards for the first down. 3rd and 5 coming up.
I want you to watch how Corey Raven's going to play Chris Carter. Let him get on top. Knows he has safety help. Now you undercut him. See, Chris Carter is a rebounder. He's a rebounder as a receiver. He doesn't run like a lot of routes. He runs to get open. And he's excellent at seeing the field. He's excellent at knowing where to sit down. But when you take away the underneath and help to the top, it really puts a lot of pressure on your quarterback for him to be right.
And they've done that job on Carter. They blanketed him. 3rd and 5. Brad Johnson overthrows the fullback, Charles Evans. And that'll bring up 4th down. And right now, the Detroit Lions dominating this game, and the Viking defense spending too much time on the field as Minnesota will have to punt once again.
It's not even close. This line defense has completely baffled the Minnesota offense.
Mitch Berger will be kicking for the 4th time in this half. Lynn Milburn with a fair catch. Milburn out of bounds after the fair catch at the 37-yard line. Once again, today's Aflac trivia question is which head coaches ended their college careers with the 1991 Aloha Bowl? And the answer, both of the head coaches today. Dennis Green at Stanford, Bobby Ross at Georgia Tech, and the Yellow Jackets won by 1 point, 18-17.
And you know, it's funny because I don't think Denny can get Stanford out of his noodle. Last night we were talking to him, asked him a specific question, and he said, well, I'll tell you this about Notre Dame. I mean Stanford.
Now, normally we get that from Barry Switzer, who says the team reminds me of Iowa State.
There's no parallels there, but I tell you where there is a parallel, regardless of where you're at in your coaching career. You always make sure you have that official on your side. And so you argue a call, and not necessarily for the call, but for the next one. Because, hey, listen, officials are people too. Sounds like a book. Officials are people too. And you're always going to have to come back to dealing with other people.
Sometimes we don't know that when we
tell you what, when you're out there playing, you call them anything but a human being, believe me.
Lions first down on the 37-yard line, leading 17-0. Scott Mitchell going for Herman Moore.
That's it again, Dick. That's that play, I'm telling you. That's
haven't used
the fade stop. Now, I don't know if this is by design or if Herman Moore and Mitchell have gotten on the same page. That's what I'm talking about. I want you to watch Fuller. See, he can't be right. Stay to the top side, underthrow it. You just throw him by. And now, if he's on the underneath side, all you do is you stop and you just let him go right by you. You can't be right.
16-yard gain on the play. Moore already with 6 catches, headed for 100 in a hurry. And here is Barry Sanders, and he goes nowhere. Loss on the play of about a yard by Robert Griffith.
That's a player right there, that Robert Griffith. There's a player that I really like.
And he, of course, has had a terrific year with an aggressive secondary. He's
getting better, too. He's getting better because what he does really well is what Ronnie Lott did well. He plays excellent at the line of scrimmage. Not the biggest. He plays bigger than his 198 pounds.
He had a great blitz and sack and a forced fumble last week against Chicago. Second down and 12. Here's Johnny Morton, and he's there to make, and now they say he did not have both feet in bounds.
Good call. Nice call by the official. Tell you what, this officiating crew is having themselves a good game, which has been different from what we've seen in the last few weeks. Balls up, watch. Come down, you have to have 2 inbounds.
He should have made the play.
He had a chance to make the play. You have to have control first and then both feet.
He could not drag that left foot, and the official, as you point out, right on it, bringing up 3rd down and 12. Barry Sanders is split wide to the right, going out as a pass receiver. 3rd down and 12, and the screen to Tommy Bardell.
Nice play.
And Bardell is tackled about 6 or 7 yards shy of the first down.
Eddie McDaniel was right there. Yeah, and he's
come
really
back,
good.
hasn't he?
I think he's back. See, Washington is down on the play. I think Eddie McDaniel is getting back to the form that he was 2 years ago, where I thought Ed McDaniel was the best stacked backer in this league. I thought he was really, really good.
And to those uninformed, a stacked backer.
It's a guy who's covered. In today's football, usually they run a 4-3, and so it's the linebacker who's not covered up in front. There'll be, I'm sorry, who is covered up? There'll be linemen in front of him, and he's stacked behind those linemen. Hence the stacked backer term. This is a guy who's played smart football, decisive. He sees it, he hits it. And he did his knee last year, and I think this year he's back and getting closer to the form that he was 2 years ago.
Dwayne Washington, the injured Minnesota Viking, with 5:31 remaining. Let's see if we can pick this up.
Here's Washington down there. Has to get away from Compton, and it looks like he took a combination of knee from Vardell and Ed McDaniel helmet all at once. That's a part of the game that you hate to see, but it's inherent to the game.
Well, so far Washington is up now and getting back to the bench. John Jett is in to kick it away. This will be his second punt. David Palmer is back deep for the Vikings. Flag is down as Jett's punt. Fair catch called for by Palmer at the 10-yard line, but a penalty field, and one of the Lions gets
Johnny Randall
and
just
another flag goes
somebody.
down.
Johnny Randall just came back on Ryan Stewart and drilled him. And it's not going to be, they're going to say if they throw it, and they did throw the flag, it's that it was away from the play. The whistle hadn't blown. Randall was still going his 100 miles an hour like usual, looking for somebody to hit. And Stewart was the guy that he found.
And the flag was thrown before Randall made his hit.
That's
personal foul.
They're going to offset it.
Right.
So They might just kick that thing over.
I think they will. Bobby Ross getting the ruling. And John Jett will punt again. There is John Randall, who has 10.5 sacks, the most by any defensive player in the NFC. He has been the heart of this Minnesota defense.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Illegal motion on the kicking team, number 35. We have a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team, number 93. These fouls offset, replay, 4th down.
So Robert Bailey, illegal motion on Bailey.
It's a good explanation by Luckett.
So they'll re-kick John Jett. And again, Palmer calls for the fair catch at the 12-yard line with 5 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the first half. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Detroit Lions and the NFL is prohibited. Detroit Lions shocking the Minnesota Vikings, who came in with an 8-2 record and 6-game winning streak. And 2 big weapons, Chris Carter and Jake Reed, have been shut out thus far. How often this deep into the second quarter have you ever seen the zeros with those 2 receivers?
No, and that's alarming for this Viking offense. It's something they have to rectify right now. However, the other side of that is Detroit Lions defensively are playing really well.
First down for the Vikings on their 13. Brad Johnson completes to Glover. And the tight end is brought down at the 20-yard line, short of a first down by 3. That was Ron Rice and Stephen Boyd that time.
I tell you, the guy who's turning himself into a good game here is Luther Ellis. Luther Ellis is getting pushed inside all the time.
We talk about how Carter and Reed have been shut out, but 3 catches for the tight end, Andrew Glover, today. There's Luther Ellis.
And when you're going to get the pressure and you have to come off your primary read, Luther Ellis has been your key.
2nd and 3. Here is Leroy Horde, burst forward, and Horde with a first down. One of the great power backs in the NFL gets 14 yards and a first down to the 38-yard line.
Dick,
34.
They're running, like you said, a power back to the power side, because the right side of this Minnesota Viking offensive line is their power side. David Dixon, Corey Stringer, Hunter Goodwin, that's some heavy beef to that right side.
And Robert Smith, the speed back, checks in. He gets the call on first down, and there's the speed back. And a great changeup on the ground by the Minnesota Vikings. Despite trailing 7-0, they run the ball twice and get 21 yards on this play and a first down to the Lion 45.
Well, and it's funny because you go power to the right side. Now you go with your speed finesse to the left side, where Stussy and McDaniel and Christie are. And a nice job by Stussy and McDaniel, which allows Smith to get to that second level.
3:35 to go in the first half. Vikings trying to get something going, and this time Smith is stuffed by Reggie Brown, who's playing with a pinched nerve, and a loss of 1.
Now, here's one of those cases I was talking about. You saw the tackle made by Brown, but I want you to watch Boyd in the middle. They're going to try to come inside with Charles Evans. Watch Boyd fill this play. Bing, see that? And because of this, Brown can come from the outside and make the tackle. If Boyd doesn't do his job, Brown's got nothing.
This is a critical series, particularly for the Vikings. They need to get some points before intermission. 2nd down and 11. And here is Jake Reed on the receiving end from Brad Johnson, and a first down to the 27-yard line. Raymond was covering, and Jake Reed with a gain of 19, his first catch of the game.
Yeah, they came with a blitz. You got to credit this offensive line for picking things up. Nice job of Brad Johnson of being patient, hanging inside. They took their chance. He knew the middle would be open. Jake Reed used his athleticism to go up on Corey Raymond and make that play.
And Raymond is the injured Lion. And we're going to take a break with 2:41 to go in the second quarter. The Vikings on their best drive of the game.
Full attack, Green Bay Pack, bring the noise, Cowboys, big gun, fast runs, cheese heads, code red, big time intimidation, 80 something retaliation, venture branded deal, gonna put on quite a show.
NFL Sunday pregame show live from Green Bay next week.
Back here at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, Corey Raymond just getting up now for the Lions, who was injured on that tackle. The first 3 drives for the Vikings netted them 47, and they finally got their offense moving to the tune of 60 drives, 60 yards thus far. They'll have a first down on the Lion 27 as Raymond walks off the field, replaced by rookie Kevin Abrams.
Here's what happened. Abrams isn't a bad player. He's pretty good. He's been hobbled by an injury, and you've been bringing him back slow. But what happens in today's football, because of your lack of depth, when you lose one player, it affects 3 positions, especially in the secondary. It affects your regular corner, your nickel corner, and your safety as well.
First and 10 at the 27-yard line. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Greg DeLong goes in motion. Brad Johnson under pressure, and the pass downfield is ruled incomplete. And Brian Westbrook went out of bounds, trying to make the interception on the pass intended for Chris Carter.
Tone, that's a nice job, the official being right where he has to be. And then actually, this is a bad decision by Brad Johnson. They're going to go with the rollout. He's coming. Nice job by Porsche. He forces the throw, and then down at the bottom, watch Westbrook. No foot in, and see down at the bottom right there, Tony Correndi, the back judge, was right on top of it.
Later on a first name basis.
Yeah, this crew was in the World League, so I got to know him.
Here is Robert Smith reversing his direction. Robert Smith is going to score. No flags down.
What a great Barry Sanders run for Robert Smith.
And for a guy who's had an injury-plagued career, hurt again in Tampa Bay, coming back today, and a 27-yard touchdown run to get the Vikings back in the game, and a pat on the helmet for Brian Westbrook.
Yeah, but a couple of words. And watch this. Watch, start one way, get everybody coming. Now see it, vision, bing, back inside. And now you just use that sprinter speed, and you get over there. There's nobody going to catch him. I mean, that has some Barry Sanders in it. Now, I tell you what, I'm happy for this kid, Robert Smith. I think the world.
Eddie Murray with the conversion, and the kick is good. So the Vikings got what they wanted. They got some points before intermission, and it was a spectacular run by Robert Smith, who's been one of the best in the league. And with 2:07 to go in the first half, Lions lead now 17-7. With his 5th touchdown rushing of the year, capping a 7-play, 87-yard drive, and he got 47 rushing yards total. And so the Minnesota Vikings back in this game.
You know what I like about
17-7.
You know what I like about Robert Smith? Robert Smith as a person, forget football. Robert Smith can do or be anything he wants to be. He's playing because he loves the game. He's got everything. He's a bright guy. He handles himself well. He projects. He's got it all. And I am really impressed with him. The only thing is he should have gone to Penn State. That's about the only thing I could figure.
Well, not everyone has great judgment, let's face it. Eddie Murray will kick off. The Vikings offense maybe getting back in tune with Smith. Board with the power of Jake Reed. Blake Milburn is back on a short kickoff by Murray. And Milburn on the 20-yard line and knocked out of bounds. And making the play was Pete Bursich. 2-minute warning here at Pontiac. We'll be right back.
For the Vikings. You give me 11 Chris Walshes, I win. Never stop. Now watch the end. Watch Briggs. Hits in the back. Watch his head. Which way did he go, boss? Which way? Who was it? Bring him out. Where was he?
It was your own man.
I mean, that's great. In this league, hey, special teams, rule number 1, keep your head on a swivel. And Briggs had it at the end of that play. He got hit. He was looking for somebody to wax, but he couldn't find him. And there was the waxer.
The Lions have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. 2-minute warning is history. First down for Detroit on their 30. Here's Barry Sanders with a stop-and-go move, and he picks up about 2.5. Wayne Rudd making the tackle.
And they're going to go with their hurry-up offense. And this is designed for 2 things. To keep the other personnel off the field and also to take advantage of the clock.
Mitchell with a short pass, and that's the tight end David Sloan. And they're still about shy by 6, and the hurry-up goes on.
And this is a big play right here. Now there comes a timeout.
And the Lions are going to call the timeout because they sensed the fact that they could get the ball back.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, it's a war in the NFC East. Terry Allen and the Redskins look to pound Big D, while Troy Aikman and the Cowboys try to avenge an early season defeat. Don't miss all the action.
Down the field they go. Get him deep. Get him deep. Deep. Down the field. That's a dodger. Yo, he missed it. Brad, you got it right over.
Now that's how you get a wide receiver open, baby.
It's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. The Redskins battle the Cowboys. Next.
Coming into this game, the big three of Sanders, Moore, and Morton had 84% of the total yards. And they've been factors again today. 3rd down and 5. Following the timeout by the Lions. Here's the fade, and wide open is Boyd. Tommy Boyd out of bounds, and a first down inside the 35 of the Vikings.
Dick, that was all Scott Mitchell. Did you hear him at the line of scrimmage?
Yes.
He saw the look that he wanted. He knew what he had to do. Audible at the line of scrimmage. Ball comes out. Does a nice job of seeing it. Watch. Boom. Ball comes out right away. And then Boyd is able to beat Wheeler to the top side. And it's a big first down. That was a big play for both sides of the ball. Because had Minnesota been able to stop him right there,
they would have called the timeout.
They got themselves a shot.
Lions had called the timeout. And half a minute and a half remaining. And finally, a timeout is called by Detroit.
That's a bad timeout.
Couldn't get it off in time.
That's one they're not going to be thrilled with.
They only have one left now.
You mentioned about those 3 guys today being 84% of their offense, and today they've had a big hand also. I mean, you can see he's got 209 yards himself. This is the best half of football I've seen him have all year.
Let's hear the audible again.
Block 16. Block 16.
See that? You see, that was really good. I want you to watch this.
1st and 10 at the 33. The Lions with 1 timeout remaining. And on the draw play, here's Barry Sanders. Sanders is loose. And runs right into Corey Fuller and gets a first down inside the 15-yard line. A gain of 19 for Sanders. And the Detroit Lions about ready to call another timeout, and they do. It's their 3rd and final timeout of this first half.
I don't get that one either. This is Barry Sanders doing his best Robert Smith impersonation right there. See, now he cuts the thing back. He says, okay, I see you do it. Now let me show you how I do it. It's a nice job up front by the offensive line of taking advantage of the blocking that they've been getting today. And then a nice job of Sanders of making Robert Griffiths miss.
13 carries, 69 yards in this first half for Barry Sanders. And the Lions are out of timeouts. I want to remind you that coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report, JB and Terry will bring you scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report. So instead of the Vikings getting the ball back with a chance to narrow the 10-point lead, they are under pressure now, the defense, as the Lions look to get some of those points back. Sanders, Moore, and Morton. Matt, you talked about those 3 guns already. 249 total yards.
That's a big day. And it's only halftime.
People have wondered, where have those weapons been lately? 1st and 10 at the 14. Scott Mitchell's pass is caught, and it's a touchdown. Johnny Morton. Boy, Mitchell's having a great first half.
Well, I'll tell you what that is also. They know that Pryor is in there instead of Washington. And there's going to be some miscommunication between your safety, Orlando Thomas, and Pryor, because they're just not used to playing with the guy. And so Morton jumps to his inside. Pryor is waiting for the safety, and a good job of Mitchell of getting the ball in there.
So the Lions quickly get back the points they gave up So they have snuffed out some momentum by the Minnesota Vikings. And now Jason Hansen is in to try to give the Lions a 17-point once again lead. Morton with 4 catches and 52 yards. The extra point by Hansen is good, and with 1:13 remaining in the first half, the Lions now lead 24-7.
I want you to watch what happens when you have a new corner in there. You're working with your safety over the top. Here's your safety. Here's Pryor. Orlando Thomas is back here. Morton's going to come back. He's holding the outside, but he doesn't get the good enough jam. And then the safety is sitting to the outside a little bit too deep. And because he had that, see Mitchell, he knew where he wanted to go right away. The head never came off to the left side, and he was able to throw that ball inside in front of Pryor. I mean, on top of Pryor, but in front of the safety, Thomas, and it's 6 points.
Morton with his 4th touchdown catch of the season. And Mitchell off to a terrific start, has completed 14 of 18. 221 yards and a touchdown. Barry Sanders accepts congratulations, but we're only halfway through this game. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Vikings, who came in 28th in the NFL in total defense, have nearly matched the average yards they've given up already.
I'll tell you what the most impressive thing is, the offensive line. We haven't even talked about John Randall at all today.
And the ball bouncing, and it is picked up by Harold Morrow. And a mix-up between Morrow and Mo Williams, and the Vikings are buried at about the 7-yard line.
And that whole thing right there was communication.
Now on that last drive, Matt, the big play was the audible by Scott Mitchell and the pass to Tommy Boyd.
And it was more communication. I want you to watch. Here's the anatomy. Listen to this thing, and I want you to watch Boyd inside, because this starts here, then goes here.
Block 16! Block 16!
See what happened? And that is beautiful. You heard Glover, the center, say, it's right here, Scott. Went from Glover to Mitchell to Boyd to the wide receiver to the big play.
First down from the 8. Brad Johnson can't find a receiver, and he is sacked by Luther Ellis back at the 5.
No place to throw that ball. Luther Ellis is right on top of it again. This is the best I've seen this Detroit Lion defense. This is the best I've seen this team play all season.
And we did see them in an impressive game against Tampa Bay on the road, but they're even better today. 2nd and 13, and David Palmer, not much. Under a minute to play. This crowd of over 70,000 being treated to a grand show by the Lions, who have lost 3 in a row, and they're doing it on both ends of the scrimmage line.
Somebody gave Luther Ellis some Johnny Randall pills, because he's playing like a wild man out there. Just seemingly every play he has something to do with a play being made.
3rd down and 12. Palmer. And I would think the Vikings just want to get to the dressing room as quickly as they can and try to regroup, because it has been a Detroit Lion domination in this first half on both sides of the scrimmage line, and Bobby Ross's Lions will take a 24-7 lead at the half. Lions doing everything right, and that includes Scott Mitchell, the beleaguered quarterback. Dockers Khakis halftime coming up next. So at the end of the first half here in Pontiac, the Lions lead the Vikings 24-7.
Two legends.
Admirably in orchestrating a 59-14 rout over the Browns. This game proved to be the last time the Lions have won a league championship. And today, the 1957 championship team is being honored here at halftime at Pontiac. And with the Lions leading 24-7 over the Vikings, we'll return to the Pontiac Silverdome for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox stations. Pontiac, the Detroit Lions leading the Minnesota Vikings 24-7, and this first half highlight is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, and it stars Barry Sanders.
Well, it stars Barry Sanders and that offensive line, which I really think has been the difference. And then because of the way the offensive line is played, their big three has been able to do really seemingly anything they wanted. And then along with that big three up becomes the fourth also, which has been Scott Mitchell.
And of course, at the outset of the game, Bobby Ross had said that Scott Mitchell hasn't played well. We need work from the quarterback. He has delivered to this point.
Well, it's like I said at the start, man. They played 10 games, and what they got out of 10 games was an inconsistent quarterback. And today, he's been anything but. He has been at the top of his game. I've not seen him play better. Decision-making has been good. The ball's been coming out quick and decisive. It's what they need from him every week.
And looking at the halftime statistics, and the Lions have dominated in every respect in this game. And Chris Carter was shut out in the first half for the first time this year.
Yeah, look at this right here, wide receivers. You're talking Chris Carter and Jake Reed. And they've got one catch, and that was Jake Reed on a big third down catch. And Chris Carter, I would be severely surprised if the first pass is not to him in the second half.
The Vikings will get the ball first as we start the second half. Jason Hansen will kick off. 17-point Detroit Lion lead, and David Palmer returning from the end zone. Palmer had a big kickoff return last week against Chicago of 62 yards, and another beauty by David Palmer as he gets knocked out of bounds close to midfield by the kicker, Jason Hansen, and the return of 49 yards.
Hey, a lot of this is on David Palmer. I mean, David Palmer creates his own room. They're going to get some blocks outside. No, look, he goes, takes Rivers and fakes him out, and then there's a block and a nice job right there back inside. And the whole thing sets up front. You got to get Charles Evans gets a nice shot on Schlesinger.
So the second best starting field position of the game for the Vikings. Their 46-yard line. Robert Smith breaking it open, gets to midfield. And the tackle by Tracy Scroggins. Smith gained 58 yards on 7 carries and scored the Viking touchdown in the first half.
That was a big score that the Detroit Lions had right before the half, because they took anything that Minnesota could have built on for the second half was just doused right there.
And Boyd with the big reception, but now the Vikings trying to get some momentum going again. 2nd and 6. And here's Robert Smith, who's hit hard and knocked back by Reggie Brown, and it'll be 3rd down and 6.
One of the things that Larry Peccatello, the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, likes to do is he likes to run blitz. And what that is it's a calculated guess, and it's based on percentages. And here's Larry Peccatello. And what he does is you go through all your computer printouts and you take an educated guess that it's going to be your run, and then you fill all the lanes right at the line of scrimmage.
It'll be 3rd down and 6. And now they send David Palmer in motion. No one in the backfield, and a fumble, loose ball.
Incomplete pass.
And now they say it was a fumble, and it was recovered by the Vikings, and Ron Rice forced it.
It's the numbers. This is 90s football, attack protections. See, Christie doesn't get outside. Christie stays inside. Rice comes around the corner. Now watch his arm. See if it's starting to come forward. Well, he started the motion, but Rice hit him right in it, and in the referee's estimation, it was a fumble.
Mitch Berger will kick Glenn Milburn back for the Lions. Fair catch at the 11-yard line. So the Minnesota Vikings can't muster any kind of an offense with good field position, and the Lions maintain control. We'll be right back. There's Ron Rice, and Viking cornerback Dwayne Washington, who was shaken up toward the end of the first half, is back in the defensive lineup for Minnesota. Lions with their worst starting field position, the 11-yard line, and the first pass is to Herman Moore for a minimal gain, and wrapped up quickly by Corey Fuller.
You know, so much of the talk about Scott Mitchell has been that he doesn't throw the ball down the field, but today you can see he's 5 out of 7 past 15 yards. You're always going to take what you just saw right there. It's going to take the underneath, but you have to be able to get it into the hands of the guys who can make something happen. Sanders, Moore, and Morton have a touchdown and 260 total yards between them.
Morton caught the touchdown pass. 2nd down and 8 for Detroit. Play action fake. And Mitchell going to Morton is knocked out of bounds first by Washington and then by Fuller. It'll bring up 3rd down.
You know, we mentioned earlier that John Randall's having himself a quiet day, and here's the reason why. See, he's the focus and focal point of this pass rush, and so they're committing 2 guys to him the whole time, Compton and Glover, and that's smart football. When you have a guy like John Randall, you have to get him blocked, and then you take your chances other places, but you don't chance on him.
They've nullified John Randall for the most part. 3rd down and 5 with 3 wide receivers. Scott Mitchell being chased by Fernando Smith. The football and incomplete. Jeff Brady defending against Herman Moore, and it'll be 4th down. And John Jett will come in to punt for the Lions.
And so this time they take John Randall and they send him up to the top side, and they're using him as a decoy. And so Ray Roberts jumps on top of him, and Compton keeps his eyes on him also. Because you're not going to let him go. But you can, when you start getting doubled, you can use that to your advantage in the pass rush game.
David Palmer with a fair catch at the 41-yard line. And so once again, the Vikings will have good field position. It hasn't really done them much good today as the Lions lead 24-7. Herman Moore being worked on behind the bench.
They're stretching him out. Johnny Morton looks like the stretch helper. That's Kent Ball, the head athletic trainer for the Detroit Lions right there.
Vikings again with good field position. Starting from the 42-yard line, Robert Smith, and nothing doing. Tracy Scroggins, who has played well in place of Waldrop, who went out with a sprained knee, making the play.
Scroggins did everything he could, and he used what he does well against Stussy. He came off the ball and forced him up the field. Stussy was trying to hook him, and then Scroggins, who's 255 pounds, not a real big guy, but he used his assets. He used the speed into him and then came off it with that same speed.
2nd down and 10. No gain on the last play. 2 tight ends for the Vikings. Brad Johnson trying to get it to Chris Carter, who makes a shoestring catch, his first reception of the game. Not much there on that play, and a 4-yard pickup. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 7 for the Vikings.
You know, when you look at Chris Carter and you're looking for somebody comparable to him, you can see only 1 catch today. The guy who's kind of his clone is Herman Moore on the other side. Neither of them run great. They understand what's happening to them, and they sit down in open holes in the zone.
4 wide receivers in the game for Minnesota on 3rd and 7. Chris Walsh in motion. Here's pressure on Johnson, and his pass is intercepted. It was overthrown, and Mark Carrier, the free safety, bringing it all the way back. And Carrier may score. And they say he went out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Mark Carrier on a bad throw by Brad Johnson. That wasn't even close as he overthrew his target, and a 65-yard return by Mark Carrier.
Now, you know who the key is? Bailey, 35. Because he's undercutting him. See, and because of that undercut coverage, Chris Carter can't turn, and the ball has to be thrown high. So the ball throws high over the top, and then Carrier makes the play. But I got to tell you something. He's not running away from Randall McDaniel. Randall McDaniel he got on his horse.
He did.
And Chris Walsh also got in on that thing, but Randall McDaniel can scoot.
Carrier wasn't going to challenge him. He went out of bounds at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal at the 2. Here's a play fake. Mitchell is just going to flip at the last minute, try to go to Bardell. Not very pretty. Incomplete, and that'll bring up 2nd and goal.
Not pretty, but smart. So he wasn't going to lose any yardage, and he was going to throw it away if he had to, but you take your chance right at the end. And I think he's got a little hitch in that hamstring get-along right now. Last week he hit that thing, and it bothered him all week. And that time looked like he came back to the huddle gimping a little bit.
Frank Reich starts to warm up. Reich did not distinguish himself last week in relief. He's going to start to get ready. Second and goal at the 2-yard line. And here's Bardell leaping over the line. Touchdown. And Bardell with his 3rd touchdown of the game. And the Lions capitalizing on Carrier's 4th interception of the year. Are threatening to really blow out the Vikings early here. It's 30-7.
Stanford was touchdown Tommy Bardell. He got a little bit of goal line on that nose.
3 touchdowns, his last 3 rushes. That's a pretty good percentage.
Not bad. If that's the case, I'd put him in the middle of the field and hand him the ball next play.
You don't think he'll score then, do you?
You never know.
Here's Jason Hansen with the extra point. It's good. And the Lions lead 31-7 on the first turnover of the game. And the Lions capitalize. Bardell with touchdown number 3.
And so the prince entered the sleeping castle, breaking the spell as Hansel and Gretel came upon the evil witch's cottage.
And Tinkerbell helped rescue the lost boys from the pirates, and they all...
Now you can buy children a lot of happy endings, because every time you use Visa, we'll contribute to Reading is Fundamental, dedicated to helping children learn to read. So please use your Visa card, because every child deserves a good beginning.
Jack climbed down the beanstalk, narrowly
Visa,
escaping.
it's everywhere you want to be.
Hope my car gets fixed today.
And my sink.
And my furnace. And my lawnmower.
What?
You idiot! You're gonna get us caught.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down,
Eddie!
make it a Bud Light.
It is a deliberate departure from the norm. 180 degrees from expected. Spacious leather-trimmed interior. Available heated front seats. And now it ties as J.D. Power & Associates' most appealing minivan. The new Chrysler Town & Country LXI. Built on the belief that great cars appeal to a more passionate side. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars.
In the tradition of Platoon and Full Metal Jacket.
Hey, man, it's dang old friendly fire, man. I tell you what.
Comes a brand new King of the Hill tonight on Fox.
You can see the scoreboard and the fans underneath. The Detroit Lions with 4 touchdowns today lead 31-7, and we have completed less than 5 minutes of this 3rd quarter. Mark Carrier, former Chicago Bear, leading the Lions with 4 interceptions, picking it off, going 65 yards and setting up the touchdown by Bardell, his 3rd, which is a career high for him. Mo Williams on the kickoff return, returning for the Vikings. And he is stopped by Kevin Abrams. Key play, of course, was the interception by Mark Carrier.
And the key to that key play was the play of Robert Bailey, 35. And then Carrier does a nice job of running away from everybody except at the end Randall McDaniel. But the forced bad throw was by the underneath coverage of Bailey.
So Brad Johnson coming back to earth in this game, and Scott Mitchell, who has been under the earth in a lot of ways, coming back with a big revival game. Vikings with a first down on the 17. And the handoff is to Leroy Hoard, and he is driven back. Forward progress, no gain on the play. Let's compare the 2 quarterbacks. And coming into this game, you would have reversed the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, no, you don't know that, because see this guy right here. See, the MO on him is he can do this for you. He can do that. He can also do that for you. That has been the big talk. It's not so much that the numbers. It's not a surprise that he can do it, because you know he can. No, but it's that it's not been consistent, and that's been the knock.
Second down and 10 on the 17. Brad Johnson dumps it off to Robert Smith, tackled by Boyd. It'll bring up 3rd down and long for the Vikings.
Dick, I got to tell you, my eye, as I'm watching this Lion defense, my eyes inevitably come back to the one guy, and to me, the guy who's been playing his rear end off today is Luther Ellis. I think Luther Ellis is playing really well.
I mean, every play, he's been getting pressure. He's been forcing the point. He's been making guys have to make decisions in the running game. I think he's played great.
And he has one of the sacks today for the Lions. 3rd down and 8. Brad Johnson up the middle, and the pass complete to Andrew Glover. And the first down at the 45 of Minnesota. A gain of 26. Ron Rice is playing in place of the injured Van Malone, making the play.
Nice job by Brad Johnson, and he has that nice job because they're able to pick up the stunt. Here comes Luther Ellis. Randall McDaniel's right on top of it. Good job by Christie and Stussy as well. And when the safeties are splitting to take advantage of the 2 wide receivers, Reed and Carter, the middle's wide open.
Minnesota's passing way down in this game thus far. First down at the 45, and there's a pass that's knocked away and nearly intercepted. It was intended for Jake Reed and Corey Raymond defending on the play.
You know, that's a little bit of frustration for Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson tried to force that ball in there. To this point has been good decisions. Right there, when you're down right now by 24 points, burn it.
This Silverdome crowd is loving it to this point. 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings. Brad Johnson going up top, and the pass knocked away. It was intended for Chris Carter, and Brian Westbrook doing the job. The rookie on the veteran, and Westbrook gets kudos.
He should, because he's doing everything right. And now they're just going to try to run away from him. The same patience I was talking about is what Westbrook shows. And then on the other side, Jake Reed getting what you call held up to the other side, literally and figuratively. You can see 2 catches today for 23 yards. It's a great job in the secondary of the Lions.
That's the story of the Viking offense in a nutshell. 3rd down and 10. Brad Johnson under pressure from Jeffries, and the pass knocked away by Westbrook again, intended for Matthew Hatchett, the rookie.
I like this kid, Dick.
And once again, the Vikings will have to kick. He has gotten better each game we've seen him.
Yeah, and you know what he really needed was training camp, and he didn't get it. But you can see the physical side to him. You can see he runs, and you know what I like? He's got big plays in him. He has an ability to see things and break. Bobby Ross knows. You can see he's talking to him right now. I think Brian Westbrook is a guy down in a few years. Everybody's going to say, well, they got Brian Westbrook. What do you expect?
Mitch Berger with the kick, and is going to go into the end zone for the touchback. And you mentioned Kevin Abrams, who has been hurt. He's another one who could move into cornerback before long. Packers and Dallas Green Bay, as you know, the Packers not been able to handle the Cowboys, who have won the last 7 meetings, but they got them up in Green Bay this year.
Yeah, and that's something that they've wanted. And to be honest with you, neither of these teams are even what they were a year ago. So it'll be a great game.
Lions with the ball from the 20-yard line. First down. Barry Sanders.
Mitchell's limping off the back.
His direction, and Sanders gets a lot out of very little. That's Barry Sanders in vintage style, 22 yards before Thomas and Corey Fuller caught up with him. And you're right about Scott Mitchell. He's hurting.
Yeah, watch Scott Mitchell with this handoff. Watch how he has to limp back to the stretch play. Watch it. See him? Limpage. Yeah, you got to get him out of there. I mean, you're up by 24 points. You can get Frank Reich to hand the ball to Barry Sanders, who I believe right now has 90 yards rushing.
And Frank Reich is not warming up as of yet. First down on the 42 after Sanders' 22-yard gain. And again, it's Barry. And Barry Sanders picks up a couple.
Barry Sanders has a string of 100-yard games going, to be exact, and he's got himself 92 right now. What happens, you look up at the scoreboard and there's 6.5 minutes. It's too early to get him out of there because you never know what happens in NFL games. Push. You can see Marcus Allen. I was on those teams with Marcus, and he had a great string.
Second down and 8. Scott Mitchell with the short drop. Herman Moore bumped 5 Fuller out of bounds. Short of the first down by a couple of yards. It'll be third down and short right around midfield.
You know, Herman is not, he's not shy about voicing his opinion, as is Dixon Edwards.
They were locking helmets.
And remember last week what happened with Herman Moore plays a physical game. Last week he and Chris Dishman got into it. Heck, Dishman came out of that game with the promise of saying, I'm going to get him. And this game, I'll tell you what, nobody is too big or too bad to get waxed.
Moore, by the way, with his 500th career reception in the first half. Third down and 3 for the Lions, and the pass to Herman Moore. He's got it. And out of bounds. Nothing Corey Fuller could do. It was that stop pattern again that we've seen countless times.
And you know what, Dick? You know what the point is? I'm glad you said that. We've seen it countless times today. 3 that I can remember. But prior to today's game, I can't remember it. And that's a play that they ran to perfection last year. I think he and Herman Moore, I think Scott Mitchell and Herman Moore are on the same page. And isn't it interesting that Herman Moore was telling us the other day that they wanted to have a little bit more freelance out there?
They're showing it today as Moore going over 1,000 receiving yards for the 4th straight year. Lions totally dominating the Vikings in every way today. First down on the 36 of Minnesota. Play action fake. Here's Moore. And he was wide open.
And you wonder there if the hamstring doesn't have something to play in there, because so much of quarterbacking, you know, they say, what a great arm. But throwing is from the waist down. Throwing is setting your feet, being mechanically sound, and being able to step and push and throw. It's all in your hips. It's in golf, which I know nothing about. It's in baseball. It's in everything.
But you're right.
That I don't know anything about it. You're right. Guy gets a hammy. You wonder if it doesn't have an effect on the throw.
You're right on both counts. Second down and 10. There's that right hamstring that is taped. Second and 10. And holding on to it was Johnny Morton. Dwayne Washington with the hit. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Dick and Matt, a little tighter in St. Louis. Take a look at Tony Banks dropping back, finds Amp Lee. Matt Miller recalls that name, leading receiver amongst running backs in the NFC. He scores it. It is tight now, 17-14. Packers and Colts, a shootout still, 28-27 Packers. Back to Dick and Matt.
Whoever expected that kind of a game in Indianapolis? Packers and Vikings tied for first in the NFC Central, and Minnesota on a big short end here. Third down and 6. On the Viking 32. And the pass is caught by David Sloan. And Sloan, with a fine catch, gives the Lions a first down after a 9-yard pickup.
There's a piece of the puzzle that I really thought would open up this offense, and then he got hurt. David Sloan is a big target. He blocks pretty well. He can run well. He ran really well prior to his knee. But with a target that big, when they start working on your linebackers and you have to get safeties involved, boy, that eats up your secondary.
Over 400 total yards by the Lions. Minnesota 28th defensively coming in. From the 23-yard line, Barry Sanders gives ground. He's done this before, but now he goes down. And it was Dwayne Washington who finally caught up with him, a loss of a yard.
That's a heck of a tackle by Dwayne Washington. You know what? I got to tell you something. In a football, in the player's mind, one of the worst things that can happen to you is to have this dream where you're out in the open field all by yourself and Barry Sanders in front of you. I mean, that's a nightmare.
Wake up in a cold sweat.
Washington woke up doing just fine. That was a good play.
Second and 11. Again, it's Barry Sanders. And third down and long will be coming up for the Lions. His clock runs, 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Tommy Vardell has scored 3 touchdowns, career high, and it's been a long afternoon for Dennis Green.
Well, really, to me, I mean, we've talked about all these guys, Vardell and Herman Moore and Morton and Sanders, and that offensive line has been the difference. The offensive line has been impeccable.
The defensive line hasn't been that bad either.
Good point by you.
Third down and 11. And the pass intended for Vardell downfield, incomplete. And that'll bring up fourth down. Jason Hansen will come in to try a field goal. Hansen has connected on 18 consecutive field goals after missing his first of the season. So he missed in the opening game against Atlanta and has not missed since. This will be a 42-yard attempt. Flag is down, and the kick is up. It's good.
Boy, did you see that? I thought he was going to miss that thing. It started out wide to the right, and it did the old hook ski back inside.
Seems to be an offsides penalty against Minnesota Vikings,
which would still be 4th down. So you take the points.
That's right. Roughing the kicker is also the call against the Vikings. And now you can see it will be a 1st down for the Detroit Lions. So the offsides penalty would not have been a 1st down, but the roughing call is.
Well, it's going to come off the bottom. He jumped, first of all. Then he got in there, and it was Dwayne Washington. Now they have a decision to make, whether it's running into the kicker or roughing the kicker. Running
offside defense, number 20. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Number 20 of the defense is accepted. Half the distance to the goal with an automatic 1st down.
And the difference between the roughing the kicker and the running into the kicker is the 1st down. I mean, running into the kicker, they just give you a penalty march off the 5 yards. Roughing the kicker is the big one, and they get you automatic 1st.
So a 1st down for the Lions on the 12-yard line. So everything that could go right is going right for the Lions. And on the other side of the coin, Vikings, nothing but despair today for their play. Scott Mitchell handing off to Barry Sanders. Amazing he even got a yard or 2 on that play.
Now Robert Griffiths showed up again. So we haven't been able to say much about the defensive personnel today for the Minnesota Vikings because they've been spread all over the place. But Robert Griffiths, the guy, when you watch the tapes, you pay attention to him, he shows up to play.
Lions 4 touchdowns and a field goal in 5 red zone chances today. Herman Moore, and that is his first touchdown catch in 7 games.
And it was a double move. And look, you think Johnny Morton's happy? Johnny Morton's beating him silly. I think Johnny Morton ran faster over to Herman Moore than he did in his route.
It has been a long drought for Herman Moore to get into the end zone.
Watch Scott Mitchell. See if he doesn't see something. There's the signal. Hand to the head. And it's seen on the other side by Herman Moore. Here's the pump. Bang, right back inside on the double move. He goes in, out, and in. The old kind of corner post run, or route rather. As soon as the guy bit, ball was right there.
And Lem Barney, one of the great defensive backs in history, congratulating Herman Moore. A 10-yard touchdown catch. And the extra point by Jason Hansen is good. And the Lions lead it 38-7. Herman Moore having a season's best game of 130 yards in catches, and finally for him a touchdown. As the Detroit Lions, scoring the most points that they have put up on the board all year, have 38, the Vikings 7. With 2:23 to go in the 3rd quarter, Herman Moore with 10 catches, 130 yards, a season high, and the touchdown catch a moment ago.
And you think Johnny Morton wasn't happy for his compadre. There's the route, kind of half speed. Now there's the now watch this. He's full speed going in his exuberance to get to Herman Moore than he was in running the route. And then when he got there, he started slapping around, kind of slapped him silly a little bit. There's 2 happy guys.
And Scott Mitchell, you can add that to the list as well, playing obviously hurt with the strained hamstring bothering him.
I'll tell you what, when you're winning, things feel so good. You can smile in the middle of the 3rd quarter. You know you have yourself a good game.
Jason Hansen on the kickoff. David Palmer returning for the Vikings. Nothing is going right for Minnesota. Changing direction is Palmer. And finally down at the 27-yard line by Darrell Porter.
Dick, I think that was a perfect example. David Palmer made a great move to get back to the outside and looked like the 25-yard line tripped him up.
Want to remind you, the big one coming up next, and several big ones in the next few weeks on Fox. But next, the Redskins and the Cowboys. Redskins coming in tied with the Giants for first place in the NFC East, and the Cowboys a game behind. The big win last week at home against the Cardinals, but a bigger game today at home against the Redskins. First down on the 26. Brad Johnson's pass, and it's caught by Jake Reed as he had two defenders in his midst, and a first down, gain of 16 to the 42-yard line.
So you know that they're keeping a safety over the top with both these receivers, and the guy who's really got to come up big for him is Stephen Boyd, running with the tight end down the middle. Because when you keep your safeties split, you give the middle up, somebody's got to fill that void, and it's been Boyd. Boyd in the void.
Here's Leroy Horde.
There's another void he filled.
Nothing doing, and Stephen Boyd again.
Stephen Boyd.
That's what he has been from Boston College, middle linebacker, and we talked about earlier how the Lions defense have measurably improved. He's one of the reasons.
He's pretty good. Yeah, 250 pounds. He's a run stopper, but you know what I like about him? He's a student, and he wants to get better. And his guy who helps him is Scott Kolakowski. He's another student of the game.
Frank Reich warming up for the Lions. We should see him before this game is over. Second down and 10. Brad Johnson has the pass batted down. Tracy Scroggins got a hand on it, and that'll bring up third down and 10.
The guy who's got to be able to come up big when this kind of coverage is your inside receiver, and this time it's Glover. Andrew Glover, the tight end. It's got to be able to beat the linebacker to the middle of the field, and these linebackers have done well. That time was Reggie Brown who got the job done.
Under a minute remaining in the third quarter. The 38 points by the Lions matches the total by the Packers in beating the Vikings earlier this year. Brad Johnson is operating out of the shotgun. Hasn't done that much today, and he takes off with it. Brad Johnson dives for the first down. And a gutty play by Johnson. First down to the 47-yard line of Detroit with 40 seconds to go in the third quarter.
You're down 31 points. You tell me this game you're just going to play it open? Not Brad Johnson. It means something to him. This brings to mind something that Jim Plunkett, the old Raider quarterback, told me a long time. There's a lot of young running quarterbacks, but there aren't any old ones.
Right. Well, right now, Brad Johnson is a young one.
That's right.
Evans in motion to the right. First down on the 47. Screen pass to Leroy Horde. And Horde will be shy of the first down by a yard. We'll see where they spot it as the time runs out in the third quarter. And that is the end of the third quarter with a score. The Lions 38, the Vikings 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station.
How do you saw someone in half? Find out Monday, November 24th on Fox.
I'm Lane Corliss.
And I'm Jim Kelly.
With your help, last month, Sundance Dodge and our employees were able to donate a cargo van to the Idaho Hunger Action Council.
This worthy group is a totally volunteer organization with a single goal: to wipe out hunger in our community.
By helping us help them, we were able to replace their old van, enabling them to distribute donated food to many families that depend upon them.
Thank you, Boise, for helping us help them. Together, we can and will make a difference.
Circuit City is now open at Boise Town Plaza. Hurry into our exciting new superstore for more top brand TVs, more of the best audio, plus a huge computer department, great top brand appliances, your favorite CDs, and more. Our friendly experts can answer all your questions, and you'll get great guaranteed low prices. With over 450 stores, we're America's largest home electronics and appliance retailer. And we're now open at Boise Town Plaza. Circuit City, you can't get a lower price, we guarantee it.
Introducing Nintendo Score 64 and win at Taco Bell. Just peel the coin off the lid,
Score 64, and you could win an N64 system, cash, or millions of other great prizes. And who knows who'll win the Porsche Boxster. It's Score 64 and win, only at Taco Bell.
Seinfeld, weekdays at 6:30 on KTRV, Fox 12.
Back at the Pontiac Silverdome, the Lions led 3-0 after one, and then the rout was on. Detroit with 5 touchdowns in the second and third quarters, leading 38-7 as we start the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton along with Matt Millen, and it's been all Lions on both sides today. Second down and 1 for the Vikings on the Lion 38 as we start the fourth quarter. Carter and Reed split to the right. Leroy Horde is going to be stopped back by Reggie Brown, and that will bring up third down and a loss of a yard on that one.
Reggie Brown did a nice job of just being quick. Got in to Greg DeLong quick and then came off the block quick. And that's his game. And then he's a speed guy. If I were his coach, what I would want him to do is work on his strength, because he can flat out run.
He can do that. Third and 2. Trips on the right side, 3 receivers, and this pass caught by Chris Carter, stays on his feet, and finally knocked out of bounds by Mark Carrier after a gain of 16. But we have not seen anything today from what we're used to from Chris Carter or Jake Reed.
Yeah, and you credit the way the Lions have played them. And in the way they have played them, and kind of that too deep with the safeties over the middle, you have to have somebody to threaten the middle. If you don't threaten the middle, those safeties will just abandon the middle.
First and 10 at the 23-yard line. Johnson's pass, and it's caught by Reed with Brown, the linebacker, covering, and a gain of about 7 yards.
Now, so much of what the Lions did early is just kind of done. Now they're just playing them straight 3-deep zone, and they're just going to give up they don't want to give up the big play. They'll let you work down the field, but the way they've played today has just been outstanding. The whole group of them.
There is Robert Porcher. Lions have 1 sack today. That's by Luther Ellis. Second down and 3. Brad Johnson swings it out to Charles Evans, and Evans with a second effort. Good hustle by Evans. They call him the Diesel, and he'll get enough for the first down.
He's pretty good. I got to tell you, this NFC Central has some good young fullbacks, and Evans is one of them. Because what he does, he combines some speed and power with some pretty good feet. You can see, heck, he ran right through his chin strap. Everything came out. Helmet was flopping off, everything.
Leroy Horde is the lone setback. 4 wide receivers. First and 10 at the 12, and they give it to Horde up the middle. And he gets about 3 or 4. Carter and Reed quiet today. 5 catches between them. And Brad Johnson, a mere mortal compared to what he has done in the last 6 weeks for the Vikings, who have a 6-game winning streak in jeopardy here. Second and 5.
I think jeopardy is being kind.
You may be right. David Palmer on the handoff up the middle, gets to about the 1-yard line. Mark Carrier prevented the touchdown. Right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood. JB.
Dick, what a shootout. Green Bay's Brett Favre tries for the quarterback sneak. He's stopped. They settle for a field goal. As I was about to say, a shootout in Indianapolis. 31-30. Green Bay on top of Indianapolis. Back to Dick and Matt.
No, Matt predicted that the Colts would get 30 points today.
I did? No. What else did I predict? You had me confused with Nostradamus.
They're going to measure for the first down. That is a shocker, and that shows you just shy about the National Football. Here's a winless team going against the defending Super Bowl champions. and more than holding their own into the fourth quarter.
So what does that tell you? Does that tell you that we have balance? Does that tell you that the Colts are better than they were, or that the Green Bay Packers aren't as good as people think? It's probably buried somewhere in the middle of all that. And there's probably, because this game is such emotion, probably part of it is going, we got the Colts. They haven't beat anybody, not a problem.
Hey, there's more emotion in this game than any other sport I've covered, and you're seeing it today on the Lions side. 3rd and inches for the Vikings. And there's a fade pass, and it's Carter defended by Westbrook. Normally, that has been automatic for Chris Carter.
And now with that kid
protesting that he was held.
Protest, schmotest. That's a nice job outside by Bryant Westbrook. Stay inside of him, get your hands on him, turn when he looks. It's good defense. It's good defense, and it's also a good job by Chris Carter of pleading his case. You always do it anyway.
You may get the call the next time.
You never know, but I'm telling you, that Bryant Westbrook, he's got a big upside.
And he's going right back at him. He won't take anything from Carter. 4th and inches. And a quarterback sneak by Brad Johnson. And he didn't get over, but he may have gotten the first down.
Oh, yeah,
he did. First down, Minnesota.
Corey Stringer might be one of the biggest offensive linemen in all of football. He is just a monster. Corey Stringer, I think he's down to 370, which isn't good. But that's their power side, that right side. And David Dixon is in there. That whole thing just, now you got Everett Lindsey. Look at the size of the ridge. If you're a running back, you get back there and you say, give me that side.
Juan Roque, rookie offensive lineman, is in there on defense on a goal line situation, and penalty markers fly, and the pointing is all on the Minnesota side by Detroit.
The snap. Ball start. Offense, number 77.
I think, we start
yards,
with you got such a big keister over there. See, it's hard to keep that thing in one place. Once it starts going, it's tough to hold it back.
Oh, and untimely, if you want to call it that, at 38-7, 5-yard penalty marked off.
Dick, with Corey Stringer, I kind of joke about his size, and honestly, I think right now, I think that's a problem for him. I think if he loses some weight, he's got excellent hands and feet. He could really be a good player.
1st and goal now at the 6-yard line. And Brad Johnson was hit. Flag is down as he let go of the ball. Reggie Brown got to the quarterback, but there's a penalty.
Well, Mark Carrier, you see Mark Carrier, he's funny. And that's a good veteran move. See Mark Carrier, he knows it's a hold. See him? See, he's going, hey, that was a tip. No, you guys don't get it. See, there was a tip up front. You try everything. That's good heads-up football out there. Because like I said...
Holding, defense, number 31. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
Called it on Raymond, Corey Raymond.
You never know when you talk one of those things and a guy listens. You just never know. It's like you cast that thing out there in the lake, you never know when they're going to bite. Every now and then you get a nibble, and you win.
You're a fisherman.
I'm a fisher of men, thank you very much.
That was only the 3rd penalty called against the Lions today. So it's 1st and goal. After the penalty, automatic first down from the 3, and Leroy Horde goes in for the Viking touchdown. So Minnesota getting 2 touchdowns today from their running backs. Robert Smith in the first half, and now Leroy Horde. And it's 38-13. And they're going to go for the 2-point conversion. 10:37 remaining in the fourth quarter, and for the second time in this game, Corey Raymond is shaken up.
When Leroy Horde squares his shoulders and gets that full pop blast on you, sometimes that shakes a lot of people up.
And we're going to take a timeout while Raymond is being worked on. Here again is Horde with the Minnesota touchdown. We'll be right back.
Taking a left instead of his usual right, Joe found himself about to have his very first taste of rhubarb pie when it hit him hard. Wait a minute. What else haven't I tried? What other people haven't I met? What other oceans haven't I swum in? What other pies haven't I eaten? Sandy, a veteran witness of existential crises, slowly refilled his coffee. Joe smiled and bit into the big unknown. It tasted great.
Ooh, a computer with the Intel Pentium 2 processor. You know it's fast, and you thought it was priced just out of your reach. Gotcha. Until now, the $1999 PC with the Pentium 2 processor from Gateway. Complete with 32 megs of RAM, 17-inch monitor, AGP graphics, and a whole lot more. Call us at 1-800-GATEWAY and we'll build one for you.
Full attack, Green Bay Pack, bring the noise, Cowboys, big guns, fast runs, cheese heads, cold red, big time intimidation, 80 something retaliation, bet you Brandon Deal gonna put on quite a show.
What a spectacular play.
Can't miss this.
This is unbelievable.
Foxman.
Yeah.
The Fox NFL Sunday pregame show live from Green Bay next week. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Taco Bell. Want some? And by NASDAQ.
Minnesota Vikings going for the two-point conversion, trailing 38-13. They're 3 for 3. Last week, Carter caught a touchdown, or caught an extra point. Now he did it again. Carter with a two-point conversion catch last week against the Bears, and he makes another typical Chris Carter grab, beating Kevin Abrams to the ball. And so the score now, the Lions 38, the Vikings 15. We'll be right back. Lions with a touchdown and a two-point conversion, lining up for what appears to be an onside kick. 10:37 remaining in the fourth quarter. Eddie Murray will kick off. And they don't do the onside kick. It is an end-over-end short kick to Vardell. Tommy Vardell on the return. And he is down. Let's take a look now at the schedules the rest of the way. And remember, coming in, Minnesota tied for first, having lost their first meeting with the Packers, and they'll play Green Bay at home. Green Bay has 3 road games in a row after the game next week at Dallas.
Yeah, and then, of course, it's in Minnesota, where they haven't won since Holmgren has taken over. Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay, which was a great game the last time. And then the Vikings, you could see Green Bay, San Francisco, at San Francisco, and then these same Detroit Lions.
Frank Reich is in at quarterback now for the Lions. 13-year veteran. And the handoff to Barry Sanders. I believe he has his 100 as he gets close to midfield. And a Detroit first down. He got 15, and he was easily over the 100 mark for the 9th consecutive game.
That gives him 108. Yep, 19 for 108. Take him out. That's smart. And he doesn't need to be in there, and he's got his string going.
2 behind Allen, tied with Walter Payton, who in '85 had 9 in a row, and Ron Rivers replaces him. Scott Mitchell came back after 2 slip shot games, 21 of 29, 271 yards and 2 touchdowns. He came up big today. First down at the 49, and here is the fullback, Corey Schlesinger. Nothing doing.
You know, Dick, talking about Scott Mitchell, we said at the start of the game that this was kind of a crossroads game for him. And, you know, and guess what? These people today are wrong. Because number 19 can hit that bullseye and the broadside of a barn. But here's the key. He's got to do it every week. And that's what they need from Scott Mitchell. If he does that, they can run this thing. Don't discount what they can do.
Well, they have 6 losses right now, and they would have to virtually win the rest of their games. Maybe 1 loss for a wild card. Who knows? Second down and 10. And here is Rivers. Ron Rivers getting a chance. Picks up about 5 yards, and Jeff Brady making the tackle. The Lions looking to break a 3-game losing streak this afternoon. Well, against the Minnesota Vikings, Barry Sanders and Herman Moore have come up big, and they did again today.
That's over 1,000 yards between the two of them in 4 games. That's That's 250 a pair. That's 120. That's about 127 or 8 yards of offense per guy per game in the last 4 games.
Pretty impressive numbers.
It's unbelievable.
3rd down and 5 on the Viking 46. Frank Reich goes up top, and Herman Moore did not keep both feet in. It is incomplete.
They've gone to that route. We've seen it all game long.
After not going to it most of the year.
Yeah, and you see, it's the kind of game that you know where you get the incompletion and you still smile when you get back up. See the feet? And no, that's a good call. I'll tell you what, that official has had a good a game as that effort was by Herman Moore.
Question. Jett will kick it away. David Palmer back deep for the Vikings. Booming kick by John Jett. Fair catch called for by Palmer at the 6-yard line. So the Vikings hold the Lions way behind, and they've got a long way to go when they return.
Said he was going to call us, tell us what it feels like.
Across America, more people use Cellular One than any other cellular service.
Hello?
Social Security and pensions may provide only 45% of your retirement income. That could let some air out of your retirement plans. Fortunately, MetLife is there to help you make sense of annuities and other retirement options. Call 1-800-MET-LIFE.
Taking a left instead of his usual right, Joe found himself about to have his very first taste of rhubarb pie when it hit him hard. Wait a minute. What else haven't I tried? What other people haven't I met? What other oceans haven't I swum in? What other pies haven't I eaten? Sandy, a veteran witness of existential crises, slowly refilled his coffee. Joe smiled and bit into the big unknown. It tasted great.
I've been the equipment manager for the New York Jets for over 34 years. I've suited up more than 3,000 players. As long as I've worked this long, it's crazy to retire. The Jets are like my family. They're like my own kids.
Hi, I'm James Brown, and in case you missed it, this is what you would have seen on Fox NFL Sunday.
Being number one, it's a lot of responsibilities that go with that. And you enjoy that?
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it.
First thing you want to do to a young quarterback is what, Ronnie?
You want to get them. You want to smack them.
I definitely think Dallas is going to win it, but they have to win it convincingly.
Once again.
No. This is the... Don't miss Fox NFL Sunday next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
Tonight, why is this dog in a tailspin? Does Marge have a new husband? Who will be the ultimate paintball warrior? And what brought Mulder and the lone gunman together? An all-new X-Files. All these secrets will be revealed tonight, starting at 6 Central on Fox. First down at the 6-yard line for the Minnesota Vikings. Nearly 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Chris Carter with the catch.
Here's the question right now. I mean, just look at this. You got 8 minutes left to go. Minnesota Vikings need 3 touchdowns and 3 2-point conversions, and they'd win this game. And that sounds, you know, everything has gone well for Detroit, and it kind of seemingly in the bag, but you never know. I mean, all you have to do is look at what's going on down in Indianapolis right now. You can see the comebacks.
Brad Johnson, 3 straight comebacks, 5 in the last 2 years. First and 10 at the 16. This would be a gigantic one, however. Leroy Horde is tackled. Not much there. No gain. Horde, who scored a touchdown. Tommy Bardell of the Lions scored 3 touchdowns, so you'd have to say 4 touchdowns today scored by former Cleveland Browns fullbacks. And they're going to get a franchise again in a couple of years.
Well, if they're going to, and again, it sounds kind of dumb, but if they're going to do it, they're going to have to throw the football. You can't waste the time on the clock.
Right. 2nd down and 10. Charles Evans in motion. Pass up the middle of Carter. Being chased by Westbrook and goes out of bounds. And right now, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Hey, Dick, you said Matt knew this. Indianapolis has thrown everything at Green Bay, but Favre not giving up. Skinny post run by Antonio Freeman. It's good. All tied at 38. 5 minutes left in the contest there. Back to Dick and Matt.
That's a real humdinger going on down there. That's a great football game.
And an unexpected great football game.
Well, to most people. Like you said, me
except for
got the whole thing down.
You and 2 others. 3rd down and 2 for Minnesota. Greg DeLong, an extra tight end. And the handoff. No, it's a quarterback sneak. Brad Johnson, very tricky, gets the first down to the 32-yard line. Gain of 8 yards for Johnson.
You know, I think I got to tell you something. I really think Luther Ellis ran right through that tackle. I think, okay, you're down by 3 touchdowns, but why not take your shot? Use the clock a little bit. What doesn't hurt you to go with the hurry-up offense and start winging the ball around? I would.
They may be setting it up.
Not with 6 minutes left. You got it. Then you have to use what you have.
1st and 10 at the 32 of Minnesota. They go underneath to Andrew Glover. That may be all they had. And Glover is tackled at the 35-yard line by Robert Bailey. A minimal gain. But you're right. 3 touchdowns is possible. But now the clock is starting to work against the Minnesota Vikings.
I guess maybe that's just that part of me that says never die. You can see the Cowboys and Redskins are coming up next on Fox, along with the 49ers and Panthers. In either case, Terry Allen is a big part of that game.
2nd down and 7, and the pass caught by Jake Reed. Reed still on his feet, and a flag is down around midfield. As the clock stops at 5:11, and Reed got it to the 45 of Detroit. It's 20 yards pending the penalty call.
I think this one's going to go against the corner to that side on Jake Reed. Yeah, it is. There was some bouncing around. Call me goofy, I don't care, but
goofy.
Yeah, go ahead. Call me all. I would go hurry up.
On the defense, number 24.
Kevin Abrams.
Decline. Result of the play is a 1st down.
Yeah, I don't like the calling because unless it was past 5 yards, but you can get that jam. But I got to tell you something. They had 8 minutes and they were just kind of going through the motions. I know.
1st and 10 at the 45. I think you know a little bit about the game.
I would go hurry up and hey, see what happens. Doesn't hurt.
3 wide receivers, and this pass knocked away, intended for Walsh, and Robert Bailey with the fine defensive play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10 with 4:52 on the clock. 2 teams coming in with streaks. The Vikings with a 6-game winning streak, their longest since they opened the 1975 season with 10 in a row. On the other side, the Lions, having lost 3 in a row at 4 and 6, knowing that their playoff hopes beginning to fade in a big way. But a win today would keep them flickering. 2nd down and 10. Brad Johnson, he's going deep here, and he's got a man downfield, and a great defensive play. Carter, or that was Reed, defended by Kevin Abrams, who timed his leap perfectly.
He timed his leap, but that one on Brad Johnson, he's got to get that ball out there a little bit more because Reed had it. Reed had the step that he needed, and the ball hung. See how it hung? It hung, and he had to go up for the football, and that actually should have been caught. Nice job by Abrams of getting his hands up there, but it bounced off his inside arm. That was the potential that had big play written all over it.
Abrams picked in the 2nd round from Syracuse. Westbrook, the other cornerback from Texas. 3rd down and 10. Vikings have 2 downs to get the 1st down. Brad Johnson can't find anybody. Being chased by Luther Ellis, and now he's going to Glover, but he won't get to it.
If he had he been able to get the ball inside, Glover had 6. But I'll tell you what bothers me. Jake Reed shut down. Jake Reed, watch number 86 right here, working on Bryant Westbrook. Now you see the scramble. Go back to the football. No, don't stand there. You know what that does? That gets you cut. I mean, he's too good of a player. If he was a lesser guy, you know, you're going to read him the right act. Now that guy, Chris Walsh, he had the right idea. Go back to the quarterback and give him help.
4th down and 10.
I like Jake Reed. That's not one of his good plays.
Vikings are 4 for 4 on 4th down conversions this year. Now
that's a flag.
4 for 5, and a flag is down.
And that's
Kevin Abrams against Chris Carter this time.
And it should be.
Brad Johnson took a hit in the pocket.
Good call. That's a good call by the official. This officially crew has had a good game. He's working outside. You're going to watch Chris Carter on Abrams.
Holding.
Abrams gets the hand.
Defense number 24. 5 yard automatic.
There was some holding, but I think it may have been Chris Carter holding on to him. And then on the other end of this, he's going to throw this, but there's the whack. Ooh, he got sandwiched from the backside as well as the front side. Scroggins on one side, Porsche on the other.
Vikings getting the call there. First down on the 40 of Detroit. Less than 4.5 minutes remaining. And the pass thrown behind Chris Carter. So it'll be 2nd and 10. The Lions leading by a score of 38-15. Scoring the most points of the season. And this is just the first of 2 meetings between these teams. They'll be going at each other on December the 14th at the Metrodome.
Kansas City beating Denver. There's a big surprise. Rich Gannon having himself. Ooh, look at that. Tampa on top of New England.
2nd down and 10. Pass underneath to David Palmer. Couple of juke moves, and Palmer gets to the 33-yard line. Will bring up 3rd and about 3. Ron Rice in on the play. Palmer, who scored his first non-special teams touchdowns last week as a receiver and a runner. Corey Stringer limps off the field, replaced by Scott Dill.
You know, I got to tell you something. Again, this is just me. I don't know. You have more than enough time. It seems like there's no urgency to get back. Yeah, okay, you're down by 3 scores, but at least give yourself the shot.
How about this one? Running play to Palmer.
I don't get it.
Porsche was right there, so it'll be 4th down and 4 yards for Dennis Green's Vikings, who are within 3.5 minutes of seeing their 6-game winning streak go down the drain.
Here's the other reason why I say what I'm saying, is because defensively the Detroit Lions have gone into the mode where they just don't want to give up a big play, and so you're giving up underneath stuff. You go hurry up, you catch them in the same personnel, you keep working down the field.
Well, it's 4th down again. 4th and 5. Brad Johnson goes up top and incomplete, and that'll turn the ball over to the Detroit Lions. So the Vikings fail to get the 5 on 4th down. Detroit's ball when we come back to Pontiac.
Close up on Molly, a mom about to dive headfirst into the dating pool and wondering if she could still swim. Tonight, her teenage daughter would be the one waiting up till 1 a.m. This cracked Molly up, and she realized she still had a life of her own, with millions of great future memories waiting for her out there in the deep end. And all she had to do was jump in. She felt like a teenager again, only with a nicer car.
How do you get this equipment to these troops when there's a river between them? Build a bridge. Problem solving. You need it now in college. Learn it now in the Army Reserve.
All that you can be.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
What's this swinging bachelor doing in Marge Simpson's bedroom?
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Secrets revealed on a brand new Simpsons tonight on Fox.
On Fox, NFL Sunday, our pregame team heads to the soon-to-be frozen tundra of Lambeau Field to preview the pivotal Cowboy-Packer matchup. Then, Chris Carter leads Minnesota's mighty attack against New York, while the resurgent Jets look to strike down the Vikings.
Yeah! Ha ha!
The milkman loves the road games.
Yeah!
Fox NFL Sunday pregame show live from Green Bay next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Gateway 2000 Direct Personal Computers.
.303 remaining in the 4th quarter, and if the Vikings go on and lose this one, and they've lost the ball way down 38-15, They will drop to 8-3, but more important, 3-3 in the division. 2 games behind the Green Bay Packers in the division. Now, Green Bay is in a very close game at Indianapolis right now. Ron Rivers carrying the ball around right side, stays in bounds and is tackled inside the 35-yard line by Ron George. Gain for Rivers, who is the backup for Barry Sanders of 30 yards.
Corey Schlesinger's had himself a real good game all game long. And he's been good on the goal line. He's been good on isolations, and he's good here. Schlesinger, watch what he does. He wheels. He wheels on Washington and gets him to the inside. A nice job of Rivers of seeing that and then bursting down the field. There's Corey Schlesinger out of Nebraska. A wrestler out of high school, and he plays like a wrestler. He's physical, does a nice job with his hips and spinning on people.
1st and 10 at the 34. Getting close to the 2-minute warning. Again, here is Rivers. Rivers is tackled by Dwayne Rudd.
I'll tell you what was funny that time.
Stayed in bounds.
Dwayne Washington knows. So you know the fullback's coming at you this time. You just bury yourself in the ground.
Exactly. 2-minute warning. We'll be right back.
Miller Lite presents.
My name is John Tobias. I was born and raised in Jersey, but on Sundays, I drive 375 miles each way to see the Steelers. Go Steelers, right? I'm also superstitious, so I always wear the same shirt and hat and stay in the same room at the same hotel. And I never sit in my seat. I stand in the end zone. But after 8 hours in the car, probably doesn't have anything to do with superstition.
Sports fans, and boy, do we have a great matchup for you today.
Introducing Nintendo Score 64 and win at Taco Bell. Just peel the coin off the lid, score 64, and you could win an N64 system, cash, or millions of other great prizes. And who knows who'll win the Porsche Boxster. It's Score 64 and win, only at Taco Bell.
Why is a detective from another network tracking down space aliens on Fox? Because it's the only place he can. An all-new X-Files, tonight at 9, 8 Central.
Tuesday on Fox, 2 legendary captains unite in the greatest battle of them all. Don't miss the network premiere of Star Trek Generations, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox. 2-minute warning here at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. That's right. That's what this game has become for Viking fans and for Viking quarterbacks. Lions with a 2nd down and 11 on the 35-yard line. And it looks like Schlesinger moved, and we'll see if they call it on Corey.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, number 30. 5 yards.
Don't forget Redskins and Cowboys coming up next. Redskins coming in with a 1-game lead over the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East, tied with the New York Giants.
Michael Westbrook is a guy down there. You can see he has 108 yards. It's 1,200 for the season. Westbrook is the guy in Washington who's healthy, and he could make the difference in that game.
2nd and 16 on the 40. Here is Rivers again. And breaks away. Ron Rivers showing a burst and gets inside the 25-yard line. 1st down.
Heck, that was a Barry Sanders move right there.
Robert Griffith, who's normally sure-handed, missed the tackle.
I want you to watch inside. This is vision. And this is just, hey, this is just basically running scared. You know? After a while, you're around a guy like Barry Sanders so much, it starts to rub off on you.
4 carries, 51 yards for Rivers. Sanders gained 108 yards. And now they're just going to take a knee and run out the clock. and the Vikings not taking a timeout as the game headed for its finish. And the Detroit Lions will end a 3-game losing streak and go to 5-6 on the year. The Vikings will drop to 8-3, and their 6-game winning streak will be history as well. The Indianapolis Colts are trying for a game-winning field goal against the Green Bay Packers. The kick was good, and the Packers lost, and the Minnesota Vikings caught a big break today on a day they lose to the Detroit Lions. Unbelievably, the Green Bay Packers lose to the Indianapolis Colts 41-38. Thus, the Packers and the Vikings remain tied for first place in the NFC Central. Dennis Green will be glad to hear that. 8-3 for both of these teams, and Tampa Bay now has moved into a 3-way tie for first. And the only thing that hurt Minnesota was losing a division game today. And our energizer play of the game is the touchdown pass to Herman Moore.
And again, it's a double move and a nice job by the whole thing is set up by Scott Mitchell's big day.
So for Matt Millen, this is Dick Stockton saying so long from the Pontiac Silverdome. The final score, the Lions 38 and the Vikings 15. Stay tuned for game 2 of our Fox doubleheader. Some of you will see the Redskins and the Cowboys. Others will see the Panthers and the 49ers. You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
Kicker has to look all the way down the field, and there's Jerry Osborne and get permission from him to kick. And I think old number 3 Thompson got too excited and just took off and kicked the ball. He's saying that I got permission. That's what he's telling me. He said they said go ahead and kick it.
And Thompson is no dummy. He's an off-season biochemist, so if he notices things, he usually complies.
You would think a biochemist would be able to communicate with Mr. Austin.
Carolina has the #1 kickoff man in the NFL and former Olympic sprinter Michael Bates, who, remember, last year returned one 58 yards against these 49ers in this game. Welcome those watching Minnesota and Detroit. We're in San Francisco, opening kickoff, the 49ers and the Panthers, and here we go. They try to kick away from Bates. They'll drive him 3 yards in the end zone, and he'll leave it there. And so Carolina will take over 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, and here is third-year quarterback Kerry Collins. Broke his jaw early in the season. He won 3 consecutive games. Then last week, 3 interceptions against Denver, but he can hang his hat on this game right here in this park last season. On the line, Brockermeyer, Campbell, Garcia, Skrepanek, and Garrido. Rookie Fred Lane starts at 1 running back, coupled with Scott Green, the veteran carrier with the rookie Ray Caruth, and the great tight end is Wesley Walls, who's the #1 catching tight end in the NFC. They open up with 2 tight ends. Walls is in motion, and on 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, Fred Lane takes it up to the 24 for a gain of 4. A little-known rookie out of Division II Lane College in Jackson. Gary Plummer makes the stop. Part of a 43 defense. Coleman, Stubblefield, who has 13 sacks. Bryant Young is back, and Kevin Green starts for a 2nd consecutive week, the former Panther. Norton, Plummer, and Lee Woodall are the linebackers. And in the secondary, some great safeties with Hanks and McDonald. The corners, Darnell Walker and Rod Woodson. Base 4-3 defense. #1 in the NFL. Collins changing the plays. 2nd down and 6. Ismail is one of 3 wide receivers. And on 2nd down and 6, Collins is hit and brought down, sacked by Bryant Young, who has been out the last 3 games with foot sprains, and he drives this crowd into an early game frenzy.
Bryant Young had that bad ankle, has missed a couple of games, and Stubblefield's been tearing everybody up, but he's back in. And he just keeps working his way through Frank Garcia, the center. And Garcia, really that was more like a coverage sack. The quarterback did not bring the ball out. Collins really had enough time if he would have thrown, but the secondary had shut everybody out.
How would you like to have Young and Stubblefield at those tackles going up against your offense, which is what Collins must face right now. 3rd down and 12. Good time in the pocket. Needs to get to the 30. Throws a low pass incomplete at the 31, looking for wide receiver Mark Carrier. So it's 3 and out for the Carolina Panthers. Coverage applied by Tyrone Drakeford, #22.
Mark Carrier's at the top. And they're not pressing him. They're off, allowing him to run the turn in. but you can see excellent coverage. And they're all over. They're jumping. Actually, Drakeford, he comes in the nickel and goes over to the starting left corner position for Rod Woodson, and Woodson goes inside. He shuts down that curl.
Rookie Ken Walter gets it high. Chuck Levy runs into his own blocker. The ball is loose and down at the 40-yard line. San Francisco will take over there. And there's Chuck Levy, who returned a punt last week, 73 yards for a touchdown in the Monday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Zach Bronson ran into him.
Yeah, that was Zach Bronson who was going down trying to make the first block and ran into his own return man.
Steve Young is the #1 quarterback again in the National Football League. He's been voted the top quarterback 5 years. Great line: Deese, Brown, Dahlman, Kevin Gogan, and Kirk Strafford in the backfield. Garrison Hurst, some people think, has made the difference in this season. The blocking from Floyd, Stokes and Owens in there. Rice gone for another couple of weeks, and Brent Jones is back after missing some games a couple of weeks ago with the bad leg. The problem now is he's got a big wrist. From their 40-yard line, Steve Young and the 49ers with the first down and 10 in a scoreless first quarter from San Francisco. And the handoff goes to William Floyd, who works his way to the 42. That'll bring up second down and 8. Well, that's a base 34 defense for Carolina, but they play a lot of 43 as well. And the reason why they do that now is because Green is gone. Seals, Cragen, and Les Miller is up front. Still no Mike Fox, although he will see some time today. Lathan, Royal, the third-year player, the veteran Mills and Michael Barrow from Houston in the linebacking core. Poole and Davis are the corners. Minner and Chad Cota are the safeties. Very young secondary, especially at the safety. Second down and 8. Young throws the pass, caught by J.J. Stokes. First down to the Carolina 48-yard line. He picked up 10 on his first pass today.
And this is Eric Davis playing the left corner. Used to be a 49er. And Eric Davis doesn't really drive the route. Watch number 25 in the white. And he sort of lets him slide in. I don't like his close. He's waiting for somebody else to help him. Once you see the route and once you see the cut, you got to go do your own job.
You don't like his close?
By close, I mean closing on the route. Not the clothes he wears. He's got on a good-looking uniform.
I got you. First down and 10 from the 48-yard line. And off, and this is Garrison Hurst, who takes it up the middle. The number 9 rusher in the NFL, number 4 in the NFC, a quick 5, brought down by nose tackle Greg Cragen.
And that's the difference in the 49ers. A year ago, you would never see this was an offset eye, a power running game. And there's Garrison Hurst. Guess what? No sideways, no sweep, right into the teeth of the defense. Something the 49ers haven't done, you know, ever since they went with this West Coast offense. That's what Mariucci has dedicated this team into doing.
Hurst is out. Terry Kirby has come in, coupled with Floyd. And there's Steve Mariucci in his first year as the head coach of the 49ers. Second down and 5 yards to go. And the handoff goes to Floyd, who tiptoes his way just beyond the line of scrimmage and picks up a meager 2 yards. And the tackle is made by Lathan.
Well, this is a split formation. Split formation usually means pass, but they still try to run the lead, but you got to skip all the way over. All this takes time. This is not how they've been running the football. That's called a lead draw. It's a slow skip over, and you got to hang on your blocks long. Les Miller had plenty of time to shed the block and make the tackle.
Tom Capers was last year's NFL Coach of the Year, now in his third year at the Carolina Panthers. Watching his defense dig in for a 3rd and 3 from Young. He throws the pass, caught by Terrell Owens, first down, reads by Buffett, and takes it down to the 31-yard line of Carolina. They needed a couple, they got 9, first and 10. Steve Young is right on the money.
They got in what's called a covey, which means all people are going to get bunched. This is a covey. They're all bunched up into here, and he's going to motion into the bunch. And when he gets done motioning, he's sitting on a 2-yard route. That's how clever it is. They ran off all the linebackers in the corners, and it's like a long handoff.
Yeah, like a long handoff.
That's all it is. Welcome to San Francisco.
They've been doing it for years. From the 32, first down and 10 yards to go in a scoreless first quarter. Young right on the money, and it's caught for a first down. A diving J.J. Stokes makes his second catch. He now has 35 for the year. He picks up 20 yards, and Steve Young has had an incredible start so far through the air, 3 of 3.
Well, you can see once again it's Eric Davis, and he's called, that's riding side saddle. He didn't backpedal. He was turned before the ball was snapped. So it's hard to drive on an inside route. I don't like his technique at all.
Then how should he be?
He should be squared up and backpedaling so he can make a drive on an inside cut. He's riding side saddle too early. You never saw John Wayne come in sight set.
First and 10, Young to the end zone, incomplete, looking for Stokes, who's caught a couple passes on this drive, and it's Young's first incomplete pass today. Young comes in today with 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. The 5-time Pro Bowler who has been rejuvenated, it seems, under new coach Steve Mariucci.
I want to show you. See how he's looking that way? See how he's not square. His shoulders aren't square. That's called side saddle.
Kirby in the backfield. Second down and 10. 8th play of the San Francisco drive, which began back on their 40 and slipping and sliding. Kirby somehow tries to reverse field and loses a handful of yards on the play. It was raining before the game. We've had a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and it's a loss of 5 on the carry as Michael Burrow was hunting them down.
Well, I walked right down where they were having that little play, and as you can look down at my boots, look at that, they're all soaking wet and squishy. Now I got wet feet for 3 hours, but it was worth it to see. The track is very slippery.
And this field sits 15 feet below sea level, so I would imagine the drainage is not that good.
They'd have to have some kind of drainage to get all this water off here, and you can see where they've added for the baseball infield. They added new sod on the baseball infield.
Good point. 3rd and 16. They're after Young. Screen pass set up. William Floyd gets back to the 10-yard line, almost the original line of scrimmage, and then dives inside the 10. And he picks up 7, which will set up 4th down. Carolina will hold the San Francisco 49ers to just a 3-point field goal try.
Well, when you coach against the 49ers, if you stop the pass, if you stop the run, you always tell your team when things go wrong, their answer is screen. So the Panthers did a good job. They were prepared. They knew the screen would come if you have success against the rest of the offense.
Gary Anderson will try the field goal, 28 yards on this opening drive for San Francisco. The hold comes from Thompson, and the kick is up, and San Francisco is on the board for the first time. So a couple of nice passes to J.J. Stokes. One of 10 yards, one of 20 yards, sets up the 28-yard field goal, and it's San Francisco on top 3-0.
It's the drive to succeed that makes a champion. Pitching in, fighting the battle as a team. Using heart, not just mind and body. Giving whatever it takes. Going the distance for the fan. And loving every minute of it. Southwest Airlines is a proud sponsor of the NFL and the official airline of Super Bowl 32.
These are the Schmidts of Munich. This is their new Porsche Boxster. In order to drive it Monday, Wednesday and Friday, Mr. Schmidt has agreed to assume dog washing responsibilities. And Mrs. Schmidt, in return for Tuesday, Thursday and the coveted Saturday, has to make Mr. Schmidt's favorite Winkelwurst 3 times a week. On Sundays, they share the Boxster. Of course, this leaves out young Dieter, who has just earned his driver's license. As in all domestic disputes, it's the children who suffer most. The Boxster. Once again, there is no substitute.
I've been vending Coors Light for a long time. It's who I am. At home, it's, hey, beer man, pass the peas. When the mail comes, it says, hey, beer man, you may have won $10 million. Being the beer man's a wonderful thing. People know Frost Brewed Refreshment. They're always happy to see me, and I'm recognized wherever I go.
Hey, beer man.
Hey, bobbin-head doll man. Coors Light! Coors Light!
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. By Lotus, work the web with Lotus Domino. And by Energizer, long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going.